After back-to-back heartbreaking defeats in Wisconsin Rapids, the Rockford Rivets, for the first time in 4 games, are back to Great Lakes East interdivision competition, and they look to get back on the right track as they head to Kokomo Municipal Stadium for the second time this season to take on the bottom of the division, Kokomo Jackrabbits. Welcome in, everybody, to the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. I'm Andre Magaro. Happy you could join us for some Tuesday evening baseball in what is a sweltering Kokomo Municipal Stadium in Indiana. Rivets looking to snap a 4-game road losing skid and get back within a game of 500. Still 2.5 back in the Great Lakes East standings against Kokomo Jackrabbits team that they've had some success against this season. They're 2-2, but a couple of close losses away from being undefeated, and a team they have to take care of here towards the bottom of the division to try to get back on track and back in the thick of things in the very crowded Great Lakes East Division. We'll look at the lineups first. How JT Scarrow lines up the visiting Rivets 1 through 9. He'll bat here in the top of the first. Ty Crittenberger leads off. The right-handed bat plays center field. The right and lefties alternate through the first 5 in the order. Brody Harding from the left side bats second. Matthew Mebin, the DH, hits third. Ben Brantley, left-handed hitting first baseman in the cleanup spot. Then the righty Cam McDonald plays left. Catcher Drew Baker from the right side hitting sixth. Bottom third, the left-handed bat of Dylan Robertson over at third base. Saxton Birch, the righty and right. And switch hitting shortstop Jeffrey Ince round things out 1 through 9. They'll be opposed by a familiar face. It's Andres De Leon making the start here against Rockford tonight. He's been an effective arm up and down season so far for a Jackrabbits pitching staff that has struggled at times. De Leon, tall, lanky right-hander at 5'11", 175 pounds, just wrapped up his freshman campaign at Shabbat College. This is appearance number 7 for him. He's allowed 11 earned runs so far in 10 1/3 this season. Or it's exclusively out of the stretch. First pitch, fastball inside to Crittenberger at 6:35 Eastern Time here in Kokomo. Crittenberger out of the leadoff spot this season, a .319 hitter. He takes another pitch down low. The count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike to Crittenberger. 3 home runs, 18 RBIs to go along with the Western Kentucky outfielder's high average. The next pitch pumps in, swing and a miss, rare off speed from De Leon. Doesn't feature it very often, but has it in his back pocket. 2-1 to Crittenberger. There's been a lot of fastballs so far, particularly the two-seamer from De Leon that runs away from the bat of right-handed hitters, something Rockford will be cautious of today. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. De Leon comes set just above his belt, kicks and deals. Another breaking ball. It's over the letters to Crittenberger, who's all of a sudden even in the count 2-2. I was 1 for 4 in the Wisconsin Rapids series, doubled yesterday to lead off the ball game. Came around to score the game's first run. Was the only run for Rockford until the 9th inning. De Leon falls over on the 2-2, but an elevated fastball swung on and missed by Crittenberger. First strikeout for De Leon on the bump, 1 away here in the top of the first. Meet the rest of the Kokomo Jackrabbits in the field. Riley Garzinski, local product out of IU Kokomo, plays third base. John Gazdar at shortstop. New arrival the Rivets haven't seen yet, Matt Arabal out at second base. Connor Throneberry over at first. Luke Hansen, another new arrival, does the catching. First pitch to Brody Harding, shows bunt, lays it down the third base side, foul. 0-1 to Brody Harding. Kian Lotus, another new arrival out in left field. Luke Sartori in center. And Al Holguin in right completes the defense for the Jackrabbits. Harding's down to the count 0-1, 12 for his first 35 at the dish through 11 games. A .343 average. 8 RBIs to go along with it for the infielder out of the University of Illinois. Breaking ball laced right back up the middle. It'll get down in center field for a base hit. Only takes the Rivets 2 batters to get their first base hit of the ball game. And Harding picks up right where he left off yesterday with his 3 for 4 outing in Wisconsin Rapids. A 1-out base runner for Rockford here in the first. Really good piece of hitting for Harding. He's aboard first base for the 3-hole man, Matthew Mebin. Average has crept back over 300. 3 home runs, 24 RBIs, pace the Northwoods League. De Leon kicks and deals. First pitch low to Mebin, 1-0. De Leon will sit mainly low 80s, can occasionally peak into the low 90s with his fastball. His slider and changeup mix also in display. Pitch to Mebin, grounded foul. Count goes to 1-1. Mebin was 3 for 8 in the Wisconsin Rapids series, had an RBI in each game. Finally got off the schneid yesterday, a 9th inning double. hit the opposite way. It was his first extra base hit in his last 9 games. That was the longest drought of his collegiate career so far. He's gotten back on the right track, as hits in 14 of his last 16 starts. 1-1. Mebane takes just on the outside edge. Late called strike to him. It's a 1-2 count. Your home plate umpire tonight calling balls and strikes. We'll get that to you here in a moment as Mebane sits down in the count 1-2. Home plate umpire Jonathan Rector called out on the outside edge. Runner goes into 1-2. Mebane elevated fastball. He fouls it straight back. So 1-2 still the count to Matthew Mebane. Was talking to Mebane before the game. He was happy just to have one of those extra base hits finally fall. Says he feels really good about how he's been hitting the ball. He just hasn't been able to get it past the defense. A lot of sac flies, a lot of deep balls to the outfield, but one of them finally found a gap last night. Here's the 1-2. De Leon throws a fastball that's elevated foul into the playground down the right field line. About 5 feet to the right of the foul pole. Mebane will do it again at 1-2. That's a 2-strike fight here from Mebane, who also paces the Northwoods League with 27 strikeouts. De Leon is not a big strikeout arm, however, not a lot velocity-wise, has 9 of them through 10 1/3. 1-2, Mebane fouls it off again. We'll stay at a ball and 2 strikes. One down here in the top of the first. If you're just joining us, Brody Harding, a 1-out single, waits on first base for Rockford. Still scoreless here from Kokomo Municipal Stadium. De Leon perched 1 foot in front of the other. 1-2 pitch. Changeup runs away from Mebane. He takes and the count goes to 2-2. First action for the righty out at Shabbat College in the last 6 days. Pitched Wednesday in Kalamazoo in a 15-5 loss. Went 2 1/3 innings scoreless. Walking 2, striking out 1. Runner goes, change up away. Throw down to second base is in time. Really good throw from Hansen. It was a breaking ball, but the usually swift Brody Harding got a bad jump off of first base, so he's caught stealing. And that theme continues for the Rivets as there's now 2 outs and the base is empty. A full count to Mebane as the pitch was taken for a ball. That not a good start on the base paths if you're Rockford. 4 runners thrown out a night ago in a 1-run loss. Here's a 3-2 pitch. High chopper off the plate, goes out to shortstop. Gazdar plucks it off the top of his brown cap, throws across the diamond in time to nail Mebane and retire the side. Rockford winds up going 1-2-3 despite a 1-out single. We played half an inning, still scoreless here on the Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the first from Kokomo Municipal Stadium, still scoreless between the Rivets and the Jackrabbits. The tall, lanky lefty on the mound for Rockford, Kyle Seebach, 6'8", 220. The senior out of Northern Illinois has been spectacular this season for the Rivets. Went his first 4 starts without allowing a run, and also some fine success against Kokomo earlier this season. His first pitch swung on and missed by the leadoff man, Luke Sartori, who's down in the count 0-1. Give you the numbers here on Seebach. He's 1-0 so far through 3 games, but an ERA of .50. 18 innings, has allowed only 1 earned run, 2 runs overall, 8 walks, 21 strikeouts. Next pitch is line to third base where Dylan Robertson elevates into the air, makes the catch for the first out of the ball game here in the bottom of the first. Take it through the left of the Kokomo batting lineup. Matt Arabal will bat second from the left side. Then it's back-to-back righties, Carlos Hidalgo and John Gazdar. Al Holguin has been on fire for this Kokomo team since arriving. He bats in the 5-hole from the left side. 2 straight righties, Connor Throneberry and Riley Garzinski. Luke Hansen from the right side catches and hits 8th. And then Kian Lotus, the left fielder from the left side, bats 9th. Quickly 1 out on just 2 pitches for Seebach against Matt Arabal. Arabal, another infielder from the University of Hawaii. Seen plenty of them on this road trip with the roster out in Wisconsin Rapids. Arabal had a good season as well for the Rainbow Warriors in some limited action. Here so far in the Northwoods League, has played 13 games, a .250 hitter. Lefty on lefty matchup against Seebach, who operates on the third base side of the rubber. The tall, lanky delivery, raises his left arm in the air, fires a fastball low. The count is 1-1 to Arabal. Rockford defense, infield left to right. Dylan Robertson, Jeff Ince, Brody Harding, Ben Brantley. I'll give you the outfield and the battery mate here in just a minute. 1-1. Swing and a miss. He got him with the changeup down in the count 1-2. Outfield has Cam McDonald in left, Ty Crittenberger in center, Thaxton Birch in right. Drew Baker does the catching for Kyle Seebach. Head in the count here, 1-2 to the 2-hole hitter, Arabal. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the first, still scoreless. A pitch. Swung on, popped up. Shallow left field. Racing out is the third baseman, McDonald, coming in. He can't make the catch. It ricochets off his glove into foul territory. Arabal's all the way up to second, and he'll reach with 1 out here in the first. That ball was just blooped up the line and left. It was going to be tough to see whether it would even end up in fair territory. Robertson, the third baseman, was running out for it. So he had rushed out, tried to make the over-the-shoulder catch. It would out of his range. McDonald, the left fielder, came rushing in, dove forward head first. The ball landed in front of his glove up the line and bounced into foul territory. So Arabal up to second base. So call it a double. And a 1-out runner in scoring position here for the Jackrabbits. Not hard contact at all against Kyle Seebach, but just perfectly placed on this Rivets defense. 1 out, a runner in scoring position for Carlos Hidalgo, .296 hitter, a home run, 8 RBIs this season. Our ball bouncing off of first. Seebach's first pitch. Slider over the inner edge. First strike 1 to Hidalgo. And this is a Kokomo offense that hasn't been the best at producing runs this season, but has a good top of the lineup, good first 4 or 5 hitters. Know their identity. They run the bases a lot really well at this ballpark, and they'll be ultra aggressive. Arabal still dancing off second as Seebach bounces in the breaking ball, and it's 1-1 to Hidalgo. Kokomo stole 5 bases on Rockford in the 2 games here earlier this month. Something to be wary of, although it has been a changing of the guard for this Rivets team. First time the Jackrabbits have seen Drew Baker behind the dish. 1 ball, 1 strike. Seebach, who struggles to hold runners on, now has a runner going in a 1-1 count. Pitch is fired in for strike 2. The throw to Baker to Robertson on 1 hop's not in time. Arabal safe with the stolen base. He's now at third with 1 man down. For Arabal, that's his 4th stolen base in 5 attempts. He's 90 feet away, and the issue of base running continues to hurt this Rockford team. Was the main kryptonite last night when Wisconsin Rapids was able to small ball some runs across, and the Rivets had 4 runners thrown out on the base paths. Arabal, a bluff steal from third. He retreats back to the bag. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Seebach. Breaking ball lined over the head of Robertson into left field, a base hit. Arabal will jog home. It's an RBI single for Carlos Hidalgo. RBI number 9 on the season for him. And just like that, it's 1-0 Jackrabbits here in the bottom of the first. Really good piece of hitting from Hidalgo, who's been on a tear as of late. Now 8 for his last 18. And he plates Arabal. More small ball pays off for the Jackrabbits. That stolen base pays dividends as it guarantees the run comes home. Runner on first, one out for John Gazdar, the cleanup man. Next pitch grounded to third, vacuumed in by Robertson. Throw into second for one. Harding's relay to first in time for an inning-ending double play. 5-4-3 erases Hidalgo, Gazdar, and retires the side. But not before Kokomo strikes for an early run on 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base. 1-0 Jackrabbits through 1 here on the Rivets Baseball Network. Top of the second from Kokomo Municipal Stadium. 1-0 Jackrabbits, an early lead over the Rockford Rivets. Looking to bounce back and snap a 4-game losing skid on the road and move back within a game of 500, but not the start Rockford was looking for. They send 4-5-6 to the dish in this inning. Ben Brantley, Cam McDonald, Drew Baker against starter Andre Staleone. So here's Brantley. He'll bat from the left side against the righty De Leon. And the infielder out of Louisiana Tech this season. Still a hot start in a Rivets uniform. Through his first 8 games, 11 for 29. That's a 379 average. 1 home run, 5 RBIs. First delivery, breaking ball way outside. The catcher, Hansen, lifting his left arm in the air to lasso it in. It's 1-0 to Ben Brantley. 500 on base percentage. He's reached base in 18 of his first 36 appearances. He's been a steady presence in the middle of that Rockford lineup as he takes a fastball for a called strike at the letters. Counts even at 1-1. And a first inning that was a spitting image of what did Rockford in a night ago in Wisconsin Rapids when it comes to the base running situation. 1-1 pitch from De Leon. Fastball that time's just up, and the count goes to 2-1 to Brantley. Rockford team that gets an early base runner in Brody Harding over at first base. He gets thrown out trying to steal second base. It's the 5th base runner thrown out by the Rivets in the last 2 games already. Fastball inside. Brantley raises his arms out of the way. Now up in the count, 3-1. And then Kokomo, meanwhile, in the bottom half of the first, gets a bloop double down the left field line from Arabal, who then is able to steal third base and come home and score on what was a soft liner over the head of the third baseman Robertson. 3-1 pitch, nothing soft about that. Line shot up the middle, past the outstretched glove of De Leon on the mound. It's a line drive single for Ben Brantley, who stays red hot. Hits in 8 of his first 9 games as a Rivet, and he's aboard as a leadoff base runner here in the second. Well, that's what you want to see to respond from a situation like that if you're Rockford. Still early on in this contest, and Ben Brantley seeing the fastball incredibly well. Worked himself into a fastball count and a beautiful piece of hitting up the middle. He reaches first base for Cam McDonald. First pitch to McDonald. Breaking ball right over the letters. Enter third for strike 1. McDonald 6 for his first 29 this season in the Northwoods League. 1 home run, 8 runs batted in. Went 3 for 9 in the 2 games set in Wisconsin Rapids. Next pitch to him. This time spits on the slider upstairs. Counts at a ball and a strike. McDonald still looking for his best swings that helped him hit over 360 this season at Illinois. Does have hits in 4 of his first 7 games. High leg kick from De Leon. The delivery, 1-1 pitch, is swung on and missed. Went upstairs with the fastball. That's a pitch that a lot of teams have been attacking McDonald with early on this season. He's shown some struggle and some desire to expand the zone on that pitch. Now he has to protect with 2 strikes. 1-2 count. Runner on first. Nobody out. Top of the second. 1-0 Jackrabbits over the Rivets. Here's the pitch from De Leon. Swing and a miss. He got him. Went back to the breaking ball. The slider on the outer third ducked underneath the bat path of McDonald, who goes down swinging. Second strikeout for De Leon and 1 down here in the second. It's the 4th strikeout for McDonald through his first 8 games, and he walks back to the Rockford dugout on the first base side as catcher Drew Baker nestles into the righty batter's box. 6th game of the season for Baker. He's 2 for 16 so far. First pitch from De Leon. He's been going heavy breaking ball early on in counts. That time the slider breaks right at the letters for strike 1 again. Baker went 0 for 5 in the series in Wisconsin Rapids. Got the start on Sunday. And that marathon 11-inning game went 0 for 4 as the next pitch floats in. It's another breaking ball. This time was right in on the hands of the righty bat who crowds the plate, and it caught the inside edge, according to home plate umpire Jonathan Rector. So now Baker down in the count 0-2. Baker's 5th 0-for in Wisconsin Rapids came last night when he pinch hit for Colton Klein, and the tying run was over on third base, and Brody Harding struck out to end the game. Looking to make amends here. 0-2 pitch. It's a 3rd straight slider. It's blocked in the dirt from Hansen, who's back up to throw quickly as Brantley stays put over on first base. So the count now 1-2 to Baker. He's back in the righty box. Bent at the knees, slightly open stance. Spreads throughout the entirety of the right-handed batter's box. The 1-2's a fastball tight. Baker limbos himself out of the way, and the count goes to 2-2. Still 1 down here at the top of the second. 1-0 Jackrabbits. Brantley with a leadoff single leads off first base. 2-2 pitch. Slider just off the plate. Just missed the outside edge. Had the necessary vertical traction for strike 3, but it's a good take from Baker, and the count goes full. The catcher from Wright State looking to reach here. Get 2 on in the second. De Leon set at the belt. Kicks and deals the payoff pitch. Fastball high, ball 4. Good at bat from Drew Baker to battle back from 0-2 down. He'll head down to first base. Brantley up at the second. The first walk for De Leon, and there's 2 on with 1 out in the second here for Rockford, looking to bounce back. Brings up the 7-hole man in the lineup, the left-handed hitting third baseman Dylan Robertson. Robertson's been hot as of late. Batting average has stifled around 300. It's currently at 288 through 17 games. 3 RBIs to his name. First pitch to him from the righty arm of De Leon. He pumps a fastball high. Counts 1-0 to Robertson. 2 for 8 in Wisconsin Rapids for Dylan. Did deliver an RBI. Yesterday, 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Was only his 2nd game through 17 this season where he failed to reach base. That's how consistent he's been wherever he's played in this Rockford order. 1-0, fastball, swung on and missed. And the count goes to 1-1. Maybe expanded the zone a little bit there. De Leon's fastball sits about high 80s. Can look appetizing coming out of the hand at times. That one was in the wheelhouse of Robertson, who probably swung on a pitch that was high and inside. Regardless, the count's even. De Leon set to deal the 1-1. Fought off the hands, blooped foul, third base side. Takes 1 hop into the Kokomo bullpen. So the count goes to 1-2. Even though yesterday not Robertson's day, he's still been hot. 5 multi-hit games in his last 8. The man committed to play at Missouri State after starting out at Iowa Western Community College. Has seen the ball well the last week or so. Is looking for a big knock here. 2 on with 1 out. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Blooped off the hands again, carving it up the third base line. It's caught underhand from Garzinski, the third baseman, jogging in front of the third base bag. He'll make the catch. The runners stay put. 2 down now in the inning. All inside to Robertson in that at-bat. And De Leon was able to get that 2-seamer that, like we said in the first inning, runs away from right-handed bats. It comes in on left-handed bats, and Robertson jammed on a couple of occasions, gets the weak contact to third. And there's 2 down. It's left for the 8-hole man, Thaxton Birch. Birch 3 for his first 13. This is just his 6th game in the Northwoods League out of Louisiana Tech. Into the right-handed batter's box, Bennett the knees with the high black socks. He'll take on the outside edge for strike 1. Start off this at bat. Birch is not your average bottom of the lineup hitter, though. He's been productive. Already 7 RBIs through 5 games, hitting primarily in that 7-8 hole for manager JT Scarra. He wiggles the bat off his right shoulder. De Leon kicks and deals the 0-1. Slider low and away. Good block from Hansen, shuffling over to his right. Lost his shin guard momentarily. He'll strap it back up as the count goes 1-1 to Thaxton Birch. Infield's back on the all-turf infield here at Kokomo Municipal. Outfield straight away. 2 down. Runners on second and first. With 2 out here into the top of the second. Fastball swung on and missed from Birch, who's down to the count now 1-2. Again, De Leon doesn't come with a ton of conviction in that fastball. It can get up to the low 90s, but it usually sits in the high 80s. Rockford hasn't been able to time up the elevated heater first time through so far. 1-2 count with 2 outs. De Leon trying to get out of the jam. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Went back to the slider. Birch came up empty on the hack. 3 strikeouts for De Leon and 2 left-stranded for Rockford in the second. No runs on a hit. No errors. 2 men left on base. Still 1-0 Jackrabbits. Led to the bottom of the second after this on the Rivets Radio Network. Back from the bottom of the second from Kokomo Municipal Stadium. 1-0 Jackrabbits over the Rockford Rivets. Kyle Seabach looking to settle into this start after allowing only his 2nd earned run all season in start number 4 of the campaign. In that first inning was soft contact all around, a bloop double and then a soft liner over the head of the third baseman Robertson that brought the run home to give Kokomo its early lead. 5, 6, 7 scheduled to hit for the Jackrabbits in the frame after a double play ball. Erased 2 runners at the end of the last half inning. Seabach's first pitch is low to Al Holguin. Holguin's the only new face in the lineup tonight that the Rivets have not seen yet this season, but boy, he's been a big one to this Kokomo offense. Right fielder out of Chicago, Illinois, tanks one deep to right field, back towards the wall. It is gone. That's how big the impact's been. Al Holguin hitting .429 this season. That average just got bumped up with his first home run of the summer. A deep drive down the .330 mark on the right field line, and it's 2-0 Jackrabbits. You don't see a lot of balls get out of here at Kokomo Municipal, but with the humidity combined with a lack of breeze, that ball got out of here in a hurry. Onto the grass porch beyond the outfield wall, down the 330 line and right. A leadoff home run to start the second. That was some hard contact on Kyle Seabach. Not a lot he could do about what happened in the first inning. That was a mistake pitch that Al Holguin did not miss. First pitch to Connor Throneberry, fouled straight back. 0-1 the count. Throneberry 7 for 48 this season, just a 146 hitter through 14 games, but does have plenty of pop. 3 of his 7 hits have gone for doubles, and he's been especially hot as of late. Righty on lefty matchup, Seabach on the bump. The southpaw kicks and deals. Fastball up and away. Baker comes out of his crouch to snag it. Count goes to 1-1 to Throneberry. Throneberry in the last series for Kokomo against the Battle Creek Bombers. Played both games, 4 for 8. All 3 of his extra base hits, all 3 of those doubles come in that series. Seabach's high again with another heater. The count goes to 2-1. He was 3 for his first 40, was the infielder from Penn State. He's found his best swing as of late. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, says first base umpire Adam Morkin. So a 3-1 count now to Throneberry. Hasn't chased the elevated fastball yet. Seabach starting to sail some of those pitches. Rockford early on in this one looks a little bit like they're stargazed in the headlights, so to speak. It's a long day of travel for the second straight day for the Rivets. 3-1 fastball up, ball 4. So a walk to Throneberry. Still nobody out here in the second. It's the first walk from Seabach. But they do look a little slow tonight. Long travel back from Wisconsin Rapids last night, followed by a quick stay in Rockford. When I say quick stay, we're talking barely 6-7 hours before they're back on the bus, headed here to Kokomo, and a long bus ride today. Hard to get up for this game, and you can tell early, maybe faltering a little bit because of all that travel. Throneberry on first base. Riley Garzinski, the 7-hole hitter in the Kokomo lineup, comes into the righty box. First pitch from the lefty, Seabach, breaks over the outside edge for strike 1. Garzinski, local product from Indiana University of Kokomo, so familiar with this stadium at 320 for the Cougars in the spring season. Seabach set at the belt. Here's the next pitch, grounded up the middle, past the glove of the pitcher. It sneaks into center field for a base hit, past the outstretched ends. A single for Garzinski as Krenberger's quick to get it in. Throneberry up to second. 3 straight have reached to start the second for the Jackrabbits. There's 2 on with nobody out. And already the 4th hit given up by Kyle Seabach. From one IU Kokomo bat to another, Luke Hansen will bat as Kokomo looks to keep piling on here early. 2 for 11 so far this season. Hansen's only 4th game of the campaign. Just 1 RBI so far, but a chance now with a couple of ducks on the pond and already 2 across for the Jackrabbits. Seabach kicks and deals. Hansen shows bunt. Bunts it beautifully up back towards the mound. Seabach off with the glove. Throws over to first. It's in time. Hansen retired, but the sacrifice successful. 1-3 on the putout. Garzinski up to second. Throneberry on third. And there's 2 in scoring position with 1 out. It's interesting there. The righty Hansen sacrifices for the 9-hole hitter in this lineup, Kyan Lotus. 167 hitter from Kansas State University. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup, so it favors the Rivets southpaw on the bump here for the time being. He's just 5 for 30 is Lotus in his first 10 games. Infield halfway for Rockford. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball. 0-1 to Lotus. This would be a big second out to get. Got a feeling here if Kokomo adds on a couple more runs, it's going to be a steep hole to climb out of for Rockford, even with some offensive prowess and very hitter-friendly conditions at Kokomo Municipal here. 0-1. Breaking ball fouled straight back from Lotus. Was a slow slider that was breaking front door, and he quirks it off to the third base side. He's down in the count now 0-2, excuse me. Lotus 1 for 7 in the last series in Battle Creek over the weekend for the Jackrabbits. Did have an RBI in that campaign. Only 2 on the season so far and 1 extra base hit. Here's the 0-2 from Seabach. Threw the slider low. Didn't get a chase. The count's 1-2 to Lotus. It's in 2 of 3 for Lotus, trying to right the ship from some early season struggles. 1-2 the count. Seabach kicks and deals the pitch. Fastball low and away. Counts even at 2-2. We have not seen this Kyle Seabach yet this season. Had been locked in through his first handful of starts, but starting to struggle a little bit. Some hard contact in this inning after some soft contact. Got his second earned run of the season across on his tab in that first inning. 2-2. Bounces in, blocked by Baker. He's trying to get that changeup across for strike 3, but Lotus, another good take, and the count's full. If you do walk the bases loaded here, it does open up the double play option, but it brings it to the top of the order in Luke Sartori. Seabach flirting with danger. Wipes the sweat from his brow. Pins the glove up to his left pec while he gets the sign from his catcher, Baker. Then comes set at the belt, third base side of the mound. A deep breath, shrugs his shoulders. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fastball, letter high, fouled back. Stays at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Big inning potentially here for the Jackrabbits, who need every win they can get. It's a crowded and cluttered Great Lakes East standings. They're currently 7-14 at the basement, but still only 5 games out of first. Deep breath from Seabach. Here's another payoff pitch. 3-2, swing and a miss. He got him. Climb the ladder with the fastball. Lotus down swinging. First strikeout for Seabach. What a time for it. There's 2 down here in the second. That brings up the top of the lineup and Luke Sartori. What a big strikeout from Seabach. You can tell he's grinding out there on the mound. It's 97 degrees on the field right now, Kokomo Municipal Stadium, and there's not that much wind here. Sweltering conditions. Pitchers are going to have to work for every inch today, and Seabach, as the sun peeks down on him from Kokomo Municipal, it's right overhead the pitcher's mound. The 7 o'clock hour right now is trying to settle in and get out of this frame. First pitch to Sartori. Breaking ball outside, 1-0. Sartori lined out the third baseman, Dylan Robertson, who's back behind the bag and off the line here with 2 outs. All the infield back for the Rivets. Second baseman Harding is into shallow right field on the green part of the turf here at Kokomo Municipal. 1-0. This one's tapped on the right side. Up the line. Going to be a tough play. Seabach shovels to first. He falls, and it can't complete the play to Brantley. Awkward play all day long for the pitcher off the mound. The ball dribbled into no man's land. A run comes home to score in Throneberry, and it's 3-0 Jackrabbits. It's scored on the video board as an infield single, so the 5th hit for Kokomo. Their 3rd earned run across against Seabach, who only allowed 1 earned run all season coming into tonight, and it's 3-0 Kokomo here in the second. Garzinski moves up to third, so on the corner, still 2 outs for Matt Arabal. A bloop double to left field his first time up for the left-handed bat. Takes strike 1, a fastball on the outer third. Arabal scored the first run of the game for the Jackrabbits in the bottom of the first inning. 3 runs on 5 hits already for Kokomo's offense has come to life out of the gate against Kyle Seabach, who had a .5 ERA entering the night. 0-1. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. A changeup dove away. The count's quickly 0-2 on Arabal. Just a tough play. Inside out swing from Sartori, dribbled up the first base line. Seabach fielded it probably about 2 strides away from the first base bag, but knew he wasn't going to beat the speedy Sartori up the line. So he tried to shovel it with his glove to Brantley, who was standing on the bag, and just didn't catch it clean off the turf and never got it there. 0-2 swung on a miss. Change up in the dirt, blocked by Baker. He'll throw down to first to complete the strikeout and retire the side. But Kokomo not playing around here early on in this series. 2 more runs across for the Jackrabbits on 3 hits. No errors. 2 men left on base. It's 3-0 Jackrabbits. Rivets bats got to come to life as we head to the third. You're on the Rivets Radio Network. Our start to the first of two in Kokomo for the Rockford Rivets. They trail 3-0 to the Kokomo Jackrabbits heading into the third inning. Ace Kyle Seabach roughed up for 3 earned runs in the first 2 ups for the Jackrabbits. Rivets got to respond, which was try to snap a 4-game road losing streak. Jeff Ince, the switch hitting shortstop out of the 9-hole, leads things off for the Rivets. First pitch from starter Andres De Leon. Ince showed bunt momentarily, pulled back as the fastball sails high for ball 1. Ince trying to do anything here to reach base. He's been struggling out of the gate after returning from that hamstring injury. He's just 2 for 20 this season as he takes low in the zone for 2-0. Last 4 games, Ince has been 0 for 13 and had 3 strikeouts last night. 2-0. That pitch just off the plate. Looked like it was going to be signaling as a strike momentarily, but the fastball is just left upstairs. Good take from Ince, who's out here 3-0. And Andres De Leon wasting no time on the mound, getting set. Looking for a redemption arc against the Rivets, 3-0. Fastball inner third, it's called strike. Count goes to 3-1 to Ince. Of course, De Leon, early season struggles don't begin to describe it as the 3-1 pitch is tight to Ince, and the switch hitter batting from the left side takes ball 4. It's a second walk from De Leon. And a leadoff base runner turns the lineup over here for the Rivets in the third. But the man out of Chabot College certainly struggled here early on in the Northwoods League and is still trying to find his best form. We mentioned coming into tonight, ERA was up there. Through 10 1/3, giving up 11 earned runs. It's an ERA of almost 10. Here's the top of the order inside Krittenberger. Shies away from a fastball, pulling his hands in towards his graphite-colored jersey. As the inside pitch is ball 1 to Krittenberger. He struck out swinging his first time up to lead off the ballgame. De Leon pitched on opening day at Rivets Stadium against Rockford. Game the Rivets won 19-5 as the breaking pitch is upstairs. All of a sudden, De Leon having trouble locating here in the third as he's fallen behind a second straight hitter. 2 balls and no strikes. That's going to prompt a visit to the mound to try to talk things over. So Jackrabbits assistant coach Colton Hahn is making his way out there to talk as he handles the pitching mechanics here of this Kokomo staff. So while they talk to De Leon, we'll talk a little bit more about his early season struggles. He pitched 2/3 of an inning on opening day in Rockford. Gave up 3 earned runs on 4 hits. Did have a walk and a strikeout, but not his greatest start to his Northwoods League campaign. In fact, allowed multiple runs in all 3 of his first 3 outings. 2 in 2 innings against Kenosha. And then at Simmons Field, once again against the Kingfish, gave up 4 runs in a single inning. He was struggling early on in his campaign, but has bounced back since with a couple of scoreless outings sandwiched within a frame where he gave up 2 earned runs in 3 against the Madison Mallards. Hahn back in the dugout. Here's the first pitch to Krittenberger. It's a fastball tight, and the count's 3-0 to the Rockford leadoff man. Longest outing of the season. It's only been 3 innings so far for De Leon, but he hasn't shown any strain of confusion until he's gotten out here in inning number 3. 3-0 pitch. Krittenberger gets the green light. Bouncing ball. Stared out the head by Garzinski. His throw to first base is not in time, and it's bobbled by Throneberry, the first baseman. A throw into third, sails on Garzinski, and coming around to score is Ince. Up to second, Krittenberger. It's calamity on the infield for the Jackrabbits. It'll go down as a single error on Throneberry, and it's going to allow Ince to score all the way from first on the play. A high chopper and a 3-0 count. Again, a really high hop because of the all-turf surface at Kokomo Municipal. And Garzinski has to leap into the air behind the third base bag. Tries to set his feet and throw to first. On the short hop, Throneberry can't pick it. So then Ince tries to go first to third on the play. Throneberry, in an effort to throw him out, chucks the ball over to third base. It sails on Garzinski and allows the runner to come home and score. So Krittenberger up to second on that overthrow from Throneberry, the E3. And he's in scoring position for Brody Harding. Harding takes high for ball 1. Boy, what a wild play. So the run is unearned. It's 3 hits now for Rockford as it goes to a single and an E3 for Krittenberger. 1-0 here to Harding, who singled his first time up in the first inning. Pitch from the righty to the lefty bat. Fastball on the outside edge. Counts even at 1-1. And that's a play that's now opened the door for Rockford early on in this game. There's still nobody out. You have a runner in scoring position. You can make it a one-run game with the top of your lineup coming up, and De Leon struggling. There is no action in that Kokomo bullpen. 1-1. Off speed, didn't break. It's left upstairs by Harding. 2 balls and a strike. It's a Kokomo team that's used a lot of its better arms in heavy volume in recent games. Richard Keel got a 9-out save yesterday in Battle Creek, so their primary closer is unavailable. And a lot of their other bridge bullpen arms are also unavailable for the Jackrabbits. 2-1 from Harding. Swing bloop down the left field line. It's foul. Harding didn't catch too much barrel on that one, but it had the angle to go over Garzinski's head and drop into fair territory. Just hooked to the left of the third base line in the end. So the count's now 2-2 to the Illinois infielder. Harding, 8 RBIs on the season, still looking for his first extra base knock. Wears the black stirrups with the white and gold stripes. Complementing these graphite uniforms with the black pinstripes, gold numbers, and lettering. 2-2 pitch. Dives inside on the 2-seamer. Harding didn't bite, and the count's full. Brody Harding been one of the best on-base threats for this Rockford team this season, reaching base in 22 of his first 45 plate appearances, 9 walks, and a hit by pitch to complement his 12 knocks. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from De Leon. Harding grounds one, first base side. It's foul. Count stays full to the 2-hole man in the Rockford lineup. Hits in 4 of his last 5 at-bats. 3 singles yesterday. Included an RBI single that scored Mebane in the top of the 9th to make it a 1-run ball game. And some heads-up base running from Brody Harding after a missed cut-up throw from Wisconsin Rapids. Got all the way to second base and then was able to challenge for third base, steal the bag, and was 90 feet away. The game-tying run last night. Nobody out. Full count. Here's the pitch. Harding right back up the middle, snared from De Leon. Looks at third for a second, but a quick jump from Krittenberger gets him there without a throw. Instead, De Leon just throws to first, and there's one away. That could have been another chaotic play. Harding smoked that ball on a hop up the middle. De Leon reached the glove atop his brown cap over his head, made the snag, and Krittenberger just never stopped running towards third base. De Leon looked there for a second, but then decided to get the sure out at first. So it works the same as a sacrifice bunt, essentially. There's one out. Krittenberger's on third for the RBI leader, Matthew Mebane. Pitch is bounced in, and Luke Hansen tries to make a heads-up play. The pitch was in the dirt. He acted like the ball got past him towards the backstop to try to get Krittenberger to go home. Had the ball in his glove the entire time. Krittenberger didn't fall for it. So 1-0 to Matthew Mebane, who grounded out to short his first time up. Infield is back for the Jackrabbits. Mebane a drive. Deep left field. It is way out of here. The Mebane mash makes its way to Kokomo. And we're tied on a no-doubter to left center field. Mebane's 4th bomb of the season, and it's 3-3 in the 3rd. What a shot! Stunned silence at Kokomo Municipal. That ball might have left the atmosphere. 2-run homer, 3-3 game. How quickly the tide has turned. First pitch to Ben Brantley. Bloop the other way into shallow left field. Charging in Lotus. He won't get there. It barrels away from him to the left up the baseline. He's quick to recover. And Brantley over at first with his second single of the game. So he's 2 for 2. Runner on first, still with 1 out in a 3-3 ball game. Matthew Mebane hit that ball above the grass hill that probably goes up about 5 feet here at Kokomo Municipal. Then there's a video board about 10 feet behind that, and he hit the base of the video board that suspends the board about 10 feet in the air. First pitch to Cam McDonald's, a breaking ball in the outer third for a called strike. There's not a lot of wind, but what little wind there is blowing out to left field. I don't think we've ever seen a baseball here in my 2 years covering games for the Northwoods League that was hit quite that far. That was challenging the property line of the ballpark as McDonald takes low and the count's 1-1. So Matthew Mebbin's got his pop back. Next pitch to McDonald, swing and a miss at a slider. One ball and 2 strikes to McDonald, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Brantley stays over on first. 4th home run for Mebbin. That's the 3rd highest total in the Northwoods League this season. And that one may be his longest yet. 1-2 here to McDonald. De Leon's pitch. Hit well the other way to right field. Hoagland started in, heading back up the line, reaches out and makes the catch along the right field line, all the way back towards the 330 sign. Opposite field charge from Cam McDonald. It's nothing but allowed out number 2. It's some better swings being put on the baseball by this Rivets offense this inning. They've responded to the early 3 spot from the Kokomo Jackrabbits. De Leon signaling for his infield to settle down as he stands back on the mound. They look a little rattled here with 2 down. Drew Baker's your batter. First pitch, fastball right at the letters for strike 1 to Baker, who walked after battling back from 0-2 down in the count his first time up. What a shot from Matthew Mebbin to tie the game moments ago. 0-1, Baker swing and a miss. Rare off-speed pitch from De Leon, who's ahead 0-2 for the second straight AB against the catcher from Wright State. Three-three game here in the top of the 3rd. Baker wiggles the bat off his right shoulder. De Leon set at the belt. Brantley leading off first. 0-2 pitch is a breaking ball grounded foul off the facing of the Jackrabbits dugout third base side. Oh, 2 on the way. Baker swing and a miss. Strike 3. Two-seamer ran away from the bat path. 4th strikeout for De Leon. Sides retired. But Rockford roars back in the 3rd. 3 runs on 2 hits, helped out by 2 errors. 1 man left. Matthew Mebbin. Can't say any more than that. A towering 2-run shot. No doubter off the bat to left center. The highlight of the frame as we stand tied up at 3 going to the bottom of the 3rd here on the Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the 3rd from Kokomo Municipal Stadium. The spectators here are still catching their breath after Matthew Mebbin launched a ball into the stratosphere to tie the game up at 3 in the last half frame. Now Rockford looking to bounce back with starter Kyle Seabach on the mound. Dangerous part of the order to navigate here. 3-4-5. First up is Carlos Hidalgo, the right-handed hitting DH who takes strike 1 from starter Kyle Seabach. Both sides have scored 3 runs on 5 hits. Both sides have a home run in the contest. very hitter-friendly conditions. Mid-90s heat and not a lot of wind here at Kokomo Municipal Stadium. So the ballpark playing smaller than it typically does. Seabox low in the zone, and it's 1-1 to Hidalgo. He delivered an RBI single soft liner over the head of the third baseman Robertson, who's playing back towards the edge of the infield turf on the left side. 1-1. Hidalgo takes over the outside edge, and the count's 1-2. Seabox been upstairs with the off speed. It's a very humid night, tough for pitchers to grip their off speed stuff. We've seen that hurt both sides so far in this game. That time he gets it to break at the letters to Hidalgo, get ahead in the count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Slight tapper over to third. Chance at redemption for Robertson as he throws up the line in time for out number 1. One away here in the third. Nobody on for John Gazdar, the cleanup man in the Kokomo lineup. This would be a big bounce back inning for Seabach and the Rivets after dropping that 3 spot in the top of the third. Get back even in this one. Said Rockford came out a little slow, but they definitely made up for it in the last half frame. We're helped out a window opening on a couple of errors for the Jackrabbits, 2 of them to be exact. First pitch to Gazdar bounces in for ball 1. I hope the Synergy cameras are working at Kokomo Municipal because I cannot wait to see the metrics on that Matthew Mebane home run. Gazdar crowds the plate from the right side with an open stance. Shows bunt, pulls back. Seabox fastballs up and away for 2-0. Gazdar hit the ball hard first time up, and it ended up being a 5-4-3 double play to end the first inning. Straight to Dylan Robertson, the third baseman, who's playing even with the bag off the line at third. 2-0. Line to shortstop. It's a high hop. He pulls it down. Jeffrey Ince, airborne, snags the liner, robs Gazdar of a base hit. 2 down here in the third. The Rockford infield continues to play solid, complimentary baseball. Jeff Ince has been fantastic at that shortstop position since taking over there as essentially an everyday player in JT Scarra's lineup, and a nice leap and a grab. So that'll clear the bases with 2 outs for Al Holguin. Lefty-on-lefty matchup. He hit the solo homer for Kokomo. This time, first pitch swinging. It's a ground ball to Harding. Has it in the shallow right field turf, and he'll throw to first in time, and that will retire the side. Just an 8-pitch, 1-2-3, top of the 4th inning. The bounce back that Kyle Seabach needed. We'll now head to the top of the 4th, tied up at 3 here on the Rivets Baseball Network. Top of the 4th, Rockford and Kokomo deadlocked at 3. Robertson, Birch, Ince, the bottom third of the lineup scheduled to hit. Andres De Leon stays on the mound for inning number 4 of work, so it'll be his deepest outing of the summer so far for the Jackrabbits. First pitch to Robertson finds the outside edge for strike 1. Robertson Popped out first time up over to the third baseman Garzinski, who's playing even with the bag off the line. Rest of the infield back in the cream home uniforms for the Jackrabbits with the brown bills as Robertson swings and misses at a breaking ball in the dirt. Now 0-2 the count. De Leon set at the belt, first base side of the mound, works exclusively out of the stretch as Robertson fouls off an inside two-seamer. That was the pitch that really got him in the last AB. That two-seamer that's going to run into the left-handed bat has jammed him on a couple of occasions. He bounces that one over towards the Rivets dugout. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out here in the fourth. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, grounded up the middle. Backhand stop diving. Arabal is throw to second base, not in time. Would have been a web gem of a play from Matt Arabal, who sold out to his right-hand side, diving up the middle, got to his feet, throw to first. Was just late to nab Robertson, who hustles out an infield single. Good hustle out of the box from the lefty bat. He's aboard to lead off the fourth for Thaxton Birch. Birch a strikeout victim his first time up. First pitch to Louisiana Tech outfielder. Bounds away from Hansen off to his right, but not enough for Robertson to advance. So 1-0 the count to Birch. De Leon at Chabot College did have experience as a starter, despite not working too deep into any games in the Northwoods League so far this summer. Birch takes the inside edge for strike one. 6 starts and 15 appearances at Chabot this season. He pitched to a 6.18 ERA. The next pitch from Birch is a breaking ball swung on and missed. 1-2 the count. But for De Leon, his longest outing went 6 1/3. But he's comfortable working 5 innings or more on multiple occasions. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Burks goes down on strikes for the second time tonight as the slider dove away. He goes down swinging. 5th strikeout for De Leon, second time through the order. There's one down here in the 4th for Jeff Ince. Ince walked, lead off the 4th inning, was one of the first of the 3 runs, I should say, to cross the plate for Rockford. Breaking ball low and away, taken for ball 1 by Ince. That's how it all started. De Leon came out in that 3rd inning and didn't really have too good a control for the zone. Next pitch to Ince, grounded foul over towards the Rivets on deck circle, so the count's 1-1. Ince walked on 5 pitches. Then Ty Krinberger got ahead in the count 3-0 before chopping a ball over to third, where there were 2 separate errors made on the play from the Jackrabbits that allowed Ince to score from first on a wild back and forth between the third baseman Garzinski and the first baseman Throneberry, who each had an error throwing the ball on the play as Ince takes high for ball 2. That allowed Krinberger to reach, and then Mebane did the rest with his 3-run shot. 2-1 to Ince. Bluff steal from the runner. Won't go as this one's grounded foul over towards the first base coach's box. Tyler Fletcher tries to make an impressive play, but instead olays the baseball out to his left. He's getting some lip from some of those Rivets arms in the dugout, Ken Evans in particular. Got to make a better play than that on the baseball. 2-2 count now to Ince. 1 away, 1 on. Here in the top of the 4th, 3-3 game. Runner goes, pitches low and inside. Hansen doesn't have a throw to make. He's asking for an appeal on the swing. Ince held up. So the count's 3 balls and 2 strikes, and there's no contest on the throw. Robertson will take the swiped bag. He's into scoring position with still 1 man down, and a big payoff coming to Jeff Ince. De Leon set at the belt, the pitch. 3-2 is grounded up the third base line. It's fielded in fair territory. Up the line from Garzinski. His throw to first base is in time. Or no, they'll call it a foul ball. That one was right up the baseline. Was hard to tell. Garzinski crouched down with the left-handed catching glove, plucked it off the top of his foot, right up the line. Of course, there's no chalk lines here. It's all turf at Kokomo Municipal, so you have a pretty good idea exactly of where that line is because obviously it's always there. And it looks like the third base umpire made the call that ball was just in foul territory. So John Pullen calls it a foul ball, and it stays at 3-2. And their payoff on the way to Jeff Ince. Runner out at second is Robertson. 3-3 game in the top of the fourth with one away. De Leon, the starter, still on the mound for the Jackrabbits. Engulfed in the sun here at Kokomo Municipal. The 3-2 pitch. Grounded foul over towards the on-deck circle again. Kicks off the backstop back towards the field of play. Count stays at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ince with the high stirrup socks. Wiggles the bat a few times in front of home plate. Now brings it to rest on his left shoulder. Crowding the plate from the left side, the switch hitter. 3-2 pitch. This one blooped foul into the stands on the third base side. A souvenir for a fan. And the bright red seats at Kokomo Municipal when the count stays at 3-2. There is some action now getting loose in that Kokomo bullpen. Give you the name here in a moment after the next payoff to Jeff Ince. Deep breath from De Leon. Looks back the runner at second, not being held on. 3-2 pitch. Ince swings and misses on a pitch that hit him. He thought about walking down to first base. Doesn't know whether he's allowed to or not. He swung and missed at a pitch that hit him and ricocheted out to the third base side. Jeff Ince struggling offensively right now. Will have to wear that strikeout. It's number 6 for De Leon, and there's 2 down now in the fourth. That pitch was way inside to Ince in the lefty box, and he went around on the swing. The ball never hit his bat. It hit him and pushed out to the third base side, and just a tough way to go down if you're the 9-hole man for the Rivets. So Ty Crittenberger now with 2 outs and a runner on second. 1 for 2 today with a single scored on the Mebane home run. He takes inside for ball 1. And I think there, just the aftermath of that, just a situation you don't see too often where a player strikes out on a pitch that hit him and doesn't know if the pitch ricocheting off of him in a way means it's a drop third strike. He can go to first base. He needed some clarification there for a minute. Righty on righty matchup, Crittenberger takes low in the zone for 2-0. Infield single on a 3-0 count the last time up for Ty. The high bouncing ball referenced earlier in the inning that led to the errors from Garzinski and Throneberry. And a hitter's count here at 2-0. We'll see if he lets it rip. He does, and it swung on and grounded to second on a couple ops for Arabal. This time a much more routine play for the second baseman. Out of Hawaii, he retires Crittenberger and the side. Rockford threatens to take the lead, but does not score on a hit. No errors, and nobody left on base. Rather, 1 left on base. Led to the bottom of the fourth. It's still a 3-3 ball game here on the Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the fourth, still deadlocked at 3 from Kokomo Municipal Stadium. Rivets and Jackrabbits. 6, 7, 8, 2 up. For the host side in the cream uniforms, Rockford Rivets back out on the field, and Kyle Seebach back out on the mound. Connor Throneberry will lead things off second time through. He scored one of 3 Kokomo runs first time up, walking and coming around the base paths as he takes a called strike on the outer third from Seabach, who had a really big bounce back inning and much needed last time up, retiring the side in order on just 8 pitches. He's been in the zone with 2 straight to Throneberry after dropping in a changeup that drops off the table towards the knees. Man up and throwing last half inning for Kokomo was Dan Driscoll, the opening day starter for the Jackrabbits against the Rivets. We'll see if he's caught into action here. 0-2 pitch, looping breaking ball out towards right field. Hangs up for Thaxton Birch. Jogs in a couple of steps and makes the catch for out number 1. 1 away, nobody on. Riley Garzinski, your scheduled hitter, as Throneberry goes to 0 for 1 on the evening. It's the longest outing in the Northwoods League so far this season for De Leon, who went 4 innings so far, allowing 3 runs on 6 hits, all of which are earned, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. It's been a mixed bag for him. Obviously, the big bomb from Matthew Mebane, but also he's pitched effectively to the strikeout with that 2-seam fastball. First pitch to Garzinski. Fastball away as he shows bunt, pulls back. Count goes to 1-0 to the IU Kokomo infielder. Singled his first time up, was left stranded over at third base back in the second. Right-handed bat against the left-handed arm. Seabach pumps in a fastball. Just misses the zone again below the knees. 2-0 to Garzinski. Two 0 from Seabach. This time clips the top of the zone with a fastball. Count goes to 2-1. Seeing the sun start to set just over the third base side at Kokomo Municipal. It bakes the pitcher and second baseman when the sun sets. Makes it really hard for them to pick up the baseball, along with the shortstop as well. Middle infield in general just really eats the sun as it comes down. Seabach's breaking balls at the knees for strike 2. Right now, you start to see home plate become engulfed in shadows. And that's usually advantage pitcher who's still on the sun-baked mound. As they're throwing into the shadow, makes it harder for the hitter to pick up the baseball. The 2-2 is a fastball fouled straight back from Garzinski. Count stays the same. See how that affects Seabach, who's settled in nicely here. Retired 5 straight for the first time all night. 2-2, 1 out, 3-3 game. Next pitch is fouled back again. Big season here at Kokomo Municipal for IU Kokomo. Players like Garzinski and the first-year head coach Drew Brantley led the program to a lot of success this season. Conference title and a trip to the postseason. Garzinski himself was second team all-conference. 2-2 pitch is swung on, popped up. It'll reach the seats on the first base side. Count stays at 2-2 again. Big battle here between Garzinski and Seabach. It'll see pitch number 7 of the at-bat momentarily. Garzinski set in the righty box. 2-2. Fastball runs away, and the count's now full to the 7-hole man and the Jackrabbits lineup. Deep breath from Seabach. Here's the payoff pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He got him. Fastball outer third. Blew it past Garzinski, who goes down on strike. Second strikeout for the southpaw out of Northern Illinois. 2 down in the 4th. Two outs and nobody on for the 8-hole man catcher Luke Hansen, who nestles into the right-handed batter's box. First time up, Hansen sacrificed himself on a bunt back towards the pitcher in the second. Another IU Kokomo Cougar as he hits a pitch foul off the mask of catcher Baker, and it barrels over towards the Rivets dugout. 0-1 the count. 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th and 3-3 game. Hansen's still trying to get the back going this season. He's just 2 for 11. That was his first successful sacrifice of the season, his first AB. 0-1 from Seabach. Swing and a miss. Attacks him with the slider. Rather, the changeup on that occasion to go ahead and count 0-2. That's a pitch that's going to work really well for Kyle Seabach against a righty hitter like Luke Hansen, who crowds the play from the right side and casts his arms out over home plate. Doesn't hold them that tight to his body. He's trying to hold him tighter here as he chokes up on the bat in an 0-2 count, but easy to drop in the changeup there. 0-2 is a changeup, mistake pitch outside. That's tapped back up the middle. Harding backhands, throws behind the second base bag, and it's in time to nail Hansen and retire the side. Nice play, Brody Harding. 7 in a row sat down from Kyle Seabach. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We've played 4, and we're tied up at 3 here on the Rivets Baseball Network. Top of the 5th from Kokomo Municipal Stadium. Still 3-3 between the Rivets and the Jackrabbits. 2-3-4 scheduled to hit. Third time through for the Rockford Rivets, and starter Andres De Leon will stay out there for the time being to face them. Dan Driscoll still getting loose. The tall lefty in the Jackrabbits bullpen, but De Leon, the right-hander, stays out after struggling through the last 2 frames, but getting through unscathed in the last inning. First pitch is outside to Brody Harding for ball 1. Harding is 1 for 2 tonight, singled and grounded out. Again, this is the deepest outing of the summer so far for De Leon. Next pitch to Harding. Fastball straight down the chute. He'll split the plate for strike 1. Deep breath for De Leon, who kicks and deals. Rare curveball out of the hand. Harding saw it all the way. 2-1 now the count. That pitch had some 12-6 break on it, but was outside off the plate. De Leon entered this inning on 86 pitches, so really not too much of an option to run him out there for too many more innings, but surprise here. Third time through, he's going to face the order again. You only have the left-hander getting loose right now if you're the Jackrabbits, and obviously the man on deck has the hardest hit baseball tonight. It's Matthew Mebane with his 2-run shot last time up. It's 3-1 to Harding. Pitch from De Leon is grounded foul off the ankle of Harding. Has that shin protector on, but he'll still have to walk that one off. The count's now full. He's going to take his time to get situated. Might even hit him higher up on the leg as he checks out his right kneecap and looking to get comfortable. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff man, Harding, who'll take his time to shake off that shiner and get back into the box. Adjust his shin guard, and now he's set. De Leon, the righty on the bump, will toe the rubber, shake off the sign from his catcher, Hansen, And now comes set at the belt. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff man here, the pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. He walked him. Third walk for De Leon. And it's a leadoff base runner for Rockford here in the 5th. And I look at the top step of that Jackrabbits dugout. Stephen Leonetti has not come out yet. And it looks like he's not going to. So Matthew Mebane is going to face Andres De Leon again here. Mebane was retired first time up. He grounded out to shortstop. And then a 2-run home run that challenged the video board out in left center field. That's well beyond the fence. His last time up. Mebane going the other way this time. It's deep to right field. Holguin has a beat on it. He makes a catch on the warning track in right field. Throw goes into second. Harding was tagging. He'll advance to second base. Mebane flies out deep to right field. Nearly went oppo after going poolside. But it was measured up all the way from Holguin as Harding advances into scoring position with 1 out here in the 5th. That had some jump off the bat. The ball's carrying tonight. And that's been rare for Rockford in the past handful of games. Wind has typically been going against them and knocking baseballs down. Mebane is nearly able to go oppo there. It's about 360 to the part of the ballpark where Holguin made that catch in the alleyway on the warning track. But he's able to secure it this time, and now Leonetti's out there. That might be the end for Andres De Leon. Wait for the official handoff of the baseball. Maybe it's just a word of encouragement. We'll see. There's the handshake. And there's the fist bumps from the teammates. So Andres De Leon's night is done. After 4 1/3, he's able to retire Mebane. Get some of that confidence back after that home run. Really good work there from the manager, Leonetti, to put the trust in his right-hander in this outing. He gets a round of applause from the fans here at Kokomo Municipal. And it'll be the first call to the Jackrabbits bullpen. Dan Driscoll. We'll have the numbers on him when we come back here on the Rivets Radio Network. Dan Driscoll, left-hander on the bump. He'll face the lefty Ben Brantley as we re-enter action here in the top of the 5th. Runner on second with 1 out. 3-3 game between the Rivets and the Jackrabbits. Driscoll, the first reliever off the bump for Stephen Leonetti, and the Jackrabbits has his breaking balls inside to Ben Brantley for 1-0. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup here with Brantley, who's 2 for 2 with a pair of singles in the ballgame. Driscoll stands at 6 foot, 190. Freshman from Mitchell College. It's his 7th appearance of the season, still looking to right the ship after some early season struggles. He's allowed 12 earned runs in 9 1/3. The next pitch is upstairs, 2-0 to Brantley. ERA at 11.57, and has not gotten better for Driscoll since being rudely greeted on opening day by these Rockford Rivets. Brantley deep to center field. Sartori has a beat on it. He makes the catch a couple steps away from the warning track. Brantley claps his hands in frustration over by the first base bag. He just missed a line shot that could have went off the wall or even over the fence in dead center field. It's 400 feet at Kokomo Municipal, and that ball was squared up from Brantley for out number 2. Brody Harding does tag. The runner moves up to third base. So the go-ahead run 90 feet away with 2 outs as Illinois teammate Cam McDonald will try to bring him home. McDonald's 0 for 2 tonight. Flew out to right field and also struck out against De Leon. He's looking to try to get off the schneid with only the 3 runs allowed as the first pitch floats outside to McDonald, 1-0. That outing for Driscoll on opening day at Rivets Stadium. An inning and a third, he gave up 7 runs, 6 of which were earned on 6 hits. McDonald, hard hit, ground ball left side of the infield. Gazdar down to a knee, has it. His throw to first base, eats up Throneberry. Him and McDonald collide as the ball kicks into foul territory. Throneberry tried to make the pick on the short hop. Because of the collision, they're going to give McDonald second base on the fielder's interference. We'll see how it's scored. Gazdar had to go down to a knee deep in the hole at shortstop, throw off balance to first, and the throw kicked up on Throneberry, who couldn't pick it out. Again, we'll wait and see what the scoring goes up as, but right now, McDonald's on second base. Harding scores, and the Rockford Rivets take a 4-3 lead. Looks like a hit for McDonald as it stands right now. We'll check the box score momentarily. First pitch into Drew Baker's a called strike. Baker's 0 for 1 today, walking a strikeout. Next pitch to him, popped up. Playable in right center field. It's the center fielder Sartori racing over to the alleyway. He's got it to make the catch and retire the side. Not before the Rivets take the lead. A leadoff walk from Brody Harding comes around to score as Cam McDonald hustles out a grounder deep in the hole at shortstop. 4-3 Rockford as we head to the bottom of the 5th here on the Rivets Radio Network. Rivets have battled out of an early hole to take a 4-3 lead headed to the bottom half of the 5th. Lotus, Sartori, Arabal, 9-1-2, your scheduled hitters for the Kokomo Jackrabbits. Kyle Seabach, the southpaw, stays on the mound. Starters gone 4 deep so far. Allowed runs early on, 3 in the first 2 frames, but has since bounced back very nicely. So Rockford has also bounced back to take a 4-3 lead. Deep breath in the delivery to Lotus, lefty on lefty matchup. First pitch is inside to the outfielder, who's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Official scoring has come in on that McDonald play that scored the go-ahead run. We'll get to that in a minute as Seabach breaks a slider over the outside edge for strike one, evening the count to Lotus. It was scored as an error in E6 on the shortstop Gazdar for his throw deep in the hole. For those of you that missed it, short hop throw over to first base, and then the first baseman and Cam McDonald, who hit the ground ball, collided as the pitch goes low to Lotus. 2-1 now the count. So McDonald collides with the first baseman. He gets awarded second base as the first baseman Throneberry was unable to pick it on the short hop. That allowed Brody Harding to score from third, so it scored as an unearned run on the line of the starter. As a 2-1 pitch is grounded, takes a ricochet off the mound towards Ince, and an awkward play, the ball sails over the head of Brantley, who dropped down to a knee instead of staying upright to try to field the throw. It kicks off the face of the Rivets dugout, so it does not get out of play. It's only one base for Lotus. I'll be really interested to see how they score this. Not sure if the ball was playable for Brantley or not. He has a solid frame to try to go after that baseball, but his collegiate teammate at Louisiana Tech Ince threw the ball over towards the bag, and Brantley went down to a knee, and the ball just sailed right on by. Right now, it's being scored as a hit, of all things, for Kean Lotus. He's aboard first base to turn the lineup over. Very awkward play. He'll bring up Luke Sartori. He's 1 for 2 today with a single. First pitch from Seabach, grounded towards third, but it's foul. It's off the foot of Sartori. Could have been a tailor-made double play ball over to the third baseman Robertson, but instead it's an 0-1 count. But back to that play, that scoring play. Harding comes home from third on the E6, so it's an unearned run to the tab of Andres De Leon, whose line is now complete. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Seabach's ahead of the count 0-1 here to Sartori. Bottom of the fifth, 4-3 Rivets. Leadoff man has reached for the Jackrabbits over on first base. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Says first base umpire Adam Morkin, and it's quickly 0-2 to the leadoff man Sartori. Seabach got him to check swing at a slider that bounced off of home plate. Good block from Baker to keep the runner at bay. It's Kokomo team that runs a lot. Lotus, no exception to that, but not too aggressive of a primary lead off first against the lefty Seabach. He'll check on him here. Just a lob throw back to Brantley, and Lotus can get back standing. 0-2 the count to the hitter at the plate, Sartori. And that's been the Achilles heel at times for Seabach, holding on runners. Kenosha tried to take advantage of that as well. But he changes up his rhythm here. The 0-2 is swung on and missed for strike 3. Another slider. Sartori goes chasing down low. It's the third strikeout for Seabach, and there's one down here in the fifth. Big bounce back out. You have that 9-hole man reaching. You turn it over to the top of the lineup, third time through against Seabach, who has given up some uncharacteristic hard contact in this outing, and you maybe worry about that a little bit, but southpaw from Northern Illinois has bounced back nicely with that strikeout there of Sartori, but still a couple of tough outs to get. Matt Arabal will call for time here before the first pitch is delivered. The point goes over towards the Kokomo dugout. Looks like maybe they weren't too happy about Gazdar going over towards the on-deck circle. He's going to have to wait at the top step. But Arabal, the left-handed hitting infielder, doubled and scored back in the first inning. Also struck out. He's 1 for 2. Seabach stares down the runner. Here's the first pitch to him. Pitch is swung on, fouled straight down to the foot of the catcher, Baker. 0-1 to Arabal. Arabal, swift infielder out of Hawaii. It's another one of those Rainbow Warriors in the Northwoods League this season. Lone one on the Kokomo roster. 0-1, check swing. Did he go? No, he did not on the changeup. The count's even at a ball and a strike to Arabal. He's played 4 seasons at Hawaii now, beginning all the way back in 2019. 1-1, gets through the legs of Baker as it bounces in. That'll allow Lotus to jog into scoring position at second, and a 2-1 count to the Hawaiian Rainbow Warrior. Harbaugh talked about the ability to go back and play for Hawaii after starting his collegiate career elsewhere, to return home and play in front of his family and his hometowns. Wiggles the bat off his left shoulder, unconventional motion in the lefty box. Juts out his hands over home plate and rotates his left elbow back and forth. The 2-1's grounded over to second. Harding is up with it as he shuffles over to his right, throw to first in time to nail Arabal. Runner goes up to third on the ground ball to the right side in Lotus, so he's at third with 2 down. Big spot for Carlos Hidalgo. He had the RBI single in the first to get the first Jackrabbit run. Soft liner over the third baseman's head as pitching coach Tyler Fletcher comes out here to talk with Seabach. See how much Kyle has left in the tank. This is a very humid day, as we're talking about. Mid to high 90s as far as weather conditions, but there's nobody up throwing right now in the Rivets bullpen. Seabach has stayed more friendly with his pitch count. He's at 67 as it currently stands. Maybe just to talk from Tyler Fletcher to talk about mechanics and figure out how much he has left in the tank. Looks like he's set to go to face Hidalgo third time through. Hidalgo also grounded out the third base back in the third inning for his 1-for-2 status. Seabach's average length of start at Northern Illinois, albeit in a much colder climate this spring, was only a little over 5 innings. He's been able to go 6, at times 7 for the Rivets this summer. His last start was only 5 innings against Battle Creek back on Thursday, as the first pitch is swung on a miss from Hidalgo for strike 1. He went to the slider. He's been throwing to that off speed more and more often as he's seen these hitters second, third time through and trying to make that adjustment here to Hidalgo. 0-1, high leg kick in the delivery. Slider, grounded towards third. High hop for Robertson, who pins it up against his left pec. Sets his feet, throws to first, and it's in time to nail Hidalgo. Way to deal with the rough hop, Dylan Robertson. Kyle Seabach out of the frame, working around a leadoff single in the 5th inning. No runs on a hit, no errors. 1 man left, and it stays 4-3 Rivets as we head to the 6th here on the Rivets Radio Network. Dylan Robertson set to lead things off for Rockford in the top of the 6th inning. It's 4-3 Rivets as the bottom third faces Dan Driscoll, first arm out of the Kokomo bullpen in his 2nd inning of relief. First pitch is outside for ball 1 to Robertson. He's 1-for-2 today, singled his last time up in the 4th. That a Driscoll breaking ball that just misses the inside edge as Robertson backs out of the way in the lefty box. 2-0 the count. 4-3 Rivets. They battle behind from 3-0 down in the second inning. Robertson takes low. Count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. 3 runs for Rockford in the third, including the 2-run home run from Matthew Mebin. And then Harding, a leadoff single in the fifth, came around to score on the error from Gazdar with 2 outs. 3-0 pitch. Low and outside. It's a 4-pitch walk to Robertson. Second time he's reached base tonight. And the first walk for Driscoll out of the pen to start the sixth. That's something Driscoll struggled with at times. It's been the command. 7 walks already, now 8, and this is 7th game. But really, he's pitched to hard contact as well, and that's what's done him in. His ERA north of 11 so far on the season. That brings up the right-handed hitting Thaxton Birch. Driscoll able to impressively drop in the curveball on that occasion for strike 1 to Birch. He's already struck out twice today, both swinging against the starter Andres De Leon. Driscoll comes set, looking back the runner, third base side. The 0-1 pitch is grounded foul. Quickly 0-2 to Birch. Set advantage pitcher as those shadows had casted over home plate as the sun continues set here at Kokomo Municipal. Now the mound as well is also becoming engulfed in shadow. You can see the top shoulders of Driscoll still in the sunshine, but the rest of his body is in the shade. It doesn't help Birch on this occasion. Elevated fastball and an 0-2 count, swung on and missed for strike 3. It's first strikeout for Driscoll. It's the third time Birch has gone down swinging in this game. 1 out in the 6th. I'll bring up Jeff Ince. Ince has walked and scored the first run for the Rivets, also struck out in this ballgame on a pitch that hit him last time up. Switch hitter will bat from the right side for the first time in the night against the lefty Driscoll. High leg kick in delivery. Ince a swing and a miss. Was a changeup left upstairs. That's a high pitch that's really given Ince some problems since returning from injury this season. He's just 2 for 21, looking to snap an 0 for 14 spell. Driscoll this time throws it upstairs again. Ince lays off the off speed, and the count goes to 1-1. Wiggles the bat off the right shoulder. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ince fouls it straight back. A fastball letter height. It's down the count now 1-2 with Robertson, the leadoff man who walked on 4 pitches, still leading off first base. 4-3 Rivets with 1 down here in the top of the 6th. Driscoll peers in, pins the glove to his back leg on the left side, and now kicks and deals the 1-2. Ince fouls a fastball away, first base side to stay alive. Let's take a look at the rest of the action in the Great Lakes East. It's a jam-packed division. Tied with the Battle Creek Battlecjacks right now is the Kalamazoo Growlers at the top of the division. The Growlers struggled against the Rivets this season, but have won 7 games on the bounce for that first place tie. They're, however, losing right now to Traverse City 9-4 in the top of the 5th at Turtle Creek Stadium. Next pitch is out of the zone. Throw back down to first. Robertson's back with a head first dive. Pitch was taken low for a ball. 2-2 now to Ince. Meanwhile, at MCCU Field in Battle Creek, the Battlecjacks are trailing 6-0 to the Kenosha Kingfish. 2-2 pitch. Ince pops a breaking ball foul off the roofing of the press box. It'll stay at 2-2. So a chance here for the Rivets, who lead Kokomo 4-3. If they can win this game, they'll gain some ground on the top dogs in the Great Lakes East and move to a game and a half of first place. 2-2, breaking ball floats away. Driscoll tried to drop in the changeup. Good take from Ince just off the plate, and the count's full. You can tell Luke Hansen, the catcher behind home plate, wanted that call, but he couldn't quite pull it back into the strike zone. Set at the belt, payoff on the way. Upstairs, ball 4, lost him on the fastball. Good battle from Jeff Ince to battle back from 0-2 down. It's the second walk for Driscoll in the frame, and there's 2 on with 1 out for the top of the lineup. There's another arm getting hot in that Kokomo bullpen. Pitching coach Dominic Hahn is out there to talk to him. We'll see how long they wait before making the move. This isn't a Leonetti who typically makes the pitching changes, so not sure if there's one coming right now. Could just be a talk here scouting report for Ty Crittenberger, the leadoff man who is set to step in. Richard Keel is up in that Kokomo bullpen. Now, he just threw 3 innings yesterday, so I don't think a situation where they would run him back out there. No, he's not up throwing right now. He's just stretching. Looked like he was up and throwing earlier, but it's actually a different arm. We'll get you the ID on him in a minute. You can tell because Keel's wearing the high brown socks up around his knees. Well, Hahn's back in the bullpen now discussing things with the reliever as Driscoll's set to go on the bump. Krittenberger today, 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored in the third. First pitch to him. Breaking ball dropped in straight over the middle of the plate for strike 1 to Krittenberger. It's the curveball from Driscoll, who has a 4-pitch mix, fastball, curveball, changeup, slider. Reese Marley, the arm getting loose right now for the Jackrabbits. There's another breaking ball from Driscoll. Slow, methodical on the curveball, and he drops it in for strike 2. That thing almost looks like a knuckler coming in there out of the hand. 0-2 to Krittenberger's going to have to battle back. Here's the pitch. It's another breaking ball. Krittenberger casts himself into the lefty box to foul it away. And this slower pace is actually something that Krittenberger's been trying to work on, trying to get his timing down more consistently. Talks about whenever he gets his foot down too quickly, sometimes he lunges his body forward and doesn't stay balanced and through the ball in his swing. This will no doubt help him here. 0-2. Gets a fastball up in the zone and fouls it back. That time looked a little more balanced in the swing. Stays 0-2 to the leadoff man for the Rivets. Looking for some insurance here in the 6th. Driscoll kicks and deals the 0-2. Krittenberger sticks out his arm, and they'll call him out. Thought about swinging at the breaking ball, was trying to offer at it. It hit him in the hand, and they're going to say that was an attempt for him to intentionally get hit by a pitch. Krittenberger's talking to the home plate umpire right now, Jonathan Rector, trying to explain that he thought about swinging, but instead they're going to say that he intentionally did it to try to get hit, and they're going to call him out. Head coach JT Scara is out of the dugout to talk to Rector about this. And I don't know how, when that breaking ball is consistently getting called for a strike around that portion of the plate, you can blame a hitter for thinking about swinging. He's going to ask for the 3-man crew to talk about it. They're going to elaborate on the mound. And now Driscoll's frustrated stepping off the mound that he has to wait for this deliberation. So some gamesmanship from both sides here. Krittenberger, again, in an 0-2 count, casted his hands out slightly from his body, stepping towards the mound to try to react to the pitch, and was hit in the hand. Now, he thought it was a hit by pitch. The home plate umpire thought it was an effort for him to intentionally get hit by a pitch and called it strike 3 and called him out. And they're going to stick with that call after the deliberation. So Krittenberger goes down on strikes. It's the second time he struck out, and there's now 2 down in the frame. Still 2 on for Brody Harding. Harding's 1 for 2 today. He's walked and scored the go-ahead run for the Rivets. Also singled back in the first. 2 walks in the inning. Robertson on second, Ince on first with 2 down. 4-3 Rivets. Lefty on lefty matchup between Harding and Driscoll. First pitch fastball, as they call it, strike at the letters. 0-1 to Harding. That's a tough one there for Krittenberger. Just talked about how the movement on his swing and picking up that slower pitch had been hurting him offensively as Harding watches the curveball break over front door for strike 2. He's down in the count 0-2. But just talking about how Krittenberger sometimes is casting his body when he's trying to react to slower pitches instead of keeping his weight back and trying to stay balanced. I mean, that's what happened right there. He stepped towards home plate trying to react to the ball, and he casted his arms out and got hit by the pitch, and it wound up being his downfall. 0-2 to Harding, lifted towards left field. Behind the third base bag is Garzinski. He'll make the catch in shallow left. P5 will end the inning. Couple of walks, but no more runs across for the Rivets. They lead 4-3, head into the bottom of the 6th after this on the Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the sixth from Kokomo Municipal Stadium. Rivets trying to snap a 4-game losing streak on the road. They lead it 4-3 over the Jackrabbits. Kyle Seabach still on the mound after 5 strong innings. Gave up 3 runs in those first 2 frames, but has since bounced back incredibly effectively. He'll face 4, 5, 6 second time through in the Jackrabbits order in this 1-run ball game. See how long the leash is for Seabach here in the 6th. This pitch count isn't terribly up there, but again, this is a very, very hot day here at Kokomo Municipal. Mid-90s, high 90s with the heat index, and just not a lot of wind. Sweltering conditions, and it takes a toll on pitchers out there. Seabach's at 69 pitches entering the 6th inning. He'll face John Gazdar first time up. It's the lefty Seabach against the righty Gazdar, who takes outside for ball 1. Gazdar's 0 for 2 today. He's hit into a double play and lined to the shortstop in. It's 2 really hard hit balls from Gazdar. 1-0 to Seabach. Low in the zone, 2-0 now. There's an arm up lately throwing in the Rockford bullpen. We'll see how aggressive they are with him. 2-0 to the leadoff man here in a 1-run ball game in the bottom of the 6th. Seabach kicks, deals. Tough overarching delivery from the lefty. Tickles the outside edge of the zone with a fastball to make it 2-1. Man up throwing right now is Ryan Green. Seabach's 2-1s popped up. Gazdar will watch it hit the seats. Behind home plate, and the count's 2-2. Green was primarily used as a starter so far this season for the Rivets, but has made the transition to the bullpen. Good to see his first relief appearance of the season here to try to close this one out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out in the 6th. 4-3 Rivets. Seabach looking to retire Gazdar for the 3rd time tonight. Open stance in the righty box. Here's a 2-2 pitch. It's grounded foul. Look to bust him back inside with the slider. Gazdar was able to foul it off. Seabach's had the number of Gazdar so far this season. Yet to get a hit off of him. He's 0 for 6 going back to their face-off on May 31st. Here's a 2-2. Fastball upstairs. Baker tried to pull it back down, but a good take from Gazdar, and the count's full. And now Holguin waits on deck. He had the solo home run for Kokomo in the 2nd. Probably the hardest hit ball off of Seabach so far this season. Who came into today allowing just 1 earned run through his first 3 starts. The 3 quick ones on the board for the Jackrabbits. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Fastball popped up foul. Stays at 3-2. As that ball barrels its way onto the concourse. Big inning if Seabach can get through it here. Give Rockford 3 more outs, make it a shorter game for that bullpen, and maybe try to get the offense back against that Jackrabbits pen, try to do some more damage. Big payoff on the way. 3-2s, tapped foul, third base side off the plate. Gazdar maybe expanded the zone there. That pitch was tailing away from him, could have easily been ball 4. He cast his hands out in front of home plate and was just able to lunge at that ball towards the left-handed batter's box and skew it foul. Stays at 3 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff man here in the 6th. 4-3 Rivets. Seabach set at the belt. The Northern Illinois left-hander raises the right leg high, now kicks and deals, overarching, a fastball laced into center field, but it's straight at Ty Crittenberger, who lifts his glove up atop his black cap and makes a catch for out number 1. That ball was hit really hard off the bat of Gazdar, but Crittenberger had it measured perfectly in straightaway center for the first out of the 6th. So the bases stay empty for Al Holguin. Has the home run tonight. Hits in all 9 games so far in the Northwoods League for Holguin. Batting in excess of .430. Also now has an RBI in 6 of his first 9 games. This is an inside-out swing, ground ball to third base. Robertson playing well off the bag. Has it, throws across in time. 5-3 on the putout. Holguin retired on 1 pitch and 2 down in the 6th. So 2 outs and the base is empty for Connor Throneberry. Walked and scored in the 2nd. Flew out to right field in the 4th. He struggled offensively so far this season, just 7 for 49, despite his hot series at Battle Creek. First pitch to him. Breaking ball over the outside edge for a called strike. 0-1 to Throneberry as Seabox trying to get through 6 and keep Rockford in pole position in this one. 4-3 Rivets. The lefty takes a deep breath. Now kicks and deals the 0-1. Fastball trying to nibble at the outside edge, but it's just off the plate. Counts even. Throneberry just 3 at-bats of action at Penn State this season. Trying to get into a groove of things here in the Northwoods League. His first action regularly in collegiate baseball. That time, Seabach drops in the changeup, and Throneberry a wild swing and a miss. He's down in the count 1-2. Comes all the way from St. Louis, Missouri. Big frame at 6'6", 225, but hasn't been able to use that for too much pop yet. Seabach trying to hope it stays that way. Here's the 1-2. Fastball just off the outside corner. Robertson, the third baseman, was already jogging towards the Rivets dugout, but it stays in the box at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Green has completed his warm-up tosses. But right now, this inning is Seabox to finish. First 2 retired in order here in the 6th. Seabox retired 12 of the last 13 he's faced. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, popped up. Playable in shallow right field. It's the second baseman, Harding, who backpedals and makes the catch for the final out of the frame. 13 of 14 sat down for Kyle Seabach after Kokomo's early offensive onslaught. The Rivets have bounced back in a big way, and so has their starter on the bump. 4-3 Rockford as we head to the 7th here on the Rivets Radio Network. New arm out of the bullpen for the Kokomo Jackrabbits as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Rivets lead Kokomo 4-3. Chase Barsotti, the new arm out there. It's a familiar face for Rockford. Saw him earlier on in the season, but Barsotti, give you his numbers on the season here momentarily. 5'11", 195, the freshman from Menlo College has allowed 9 earned runs in 8 2/3. Another arm struggling out of this Jackrabbits pen, a 9.35 ERA. But his best outing came against Rockford back on May 31st when the Jackrabbits came from behind to win 8-4, 2 1/3 scoreless. That included a strikeout of Matthew Mebin, who leads off the inning here in the 7th, takes low for ball 1. Barsotti, a slider, a fastball, his primary arsenal. Throws a lot of off speed, a lot of sliders, and he gets Mebin fishing low in the zone to make the count 1-1. Mebin's 1 for 3 tonight. Of course, a 2-run bomb in the 3rd made it a 3-3 ball game. Was a no-doubter off the bat to left center. Comes set. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Slider drops down low. Good take from Mebin, and the count goes to 2-1. Going to see a lot of off speed from Barsotti here. Only throws the fastball 6% of the time so far in the Northwoods League. It's just all sliders. Mebane takes low again, and it's 3-1. He's spitting on that off speed. Barsotti was initially listed as the starter in this game for the Jackrabbits. That allowed the Rockford team to kind of game plan for him and all of his off speed, and that's allowed Mebane to take 4 straight out of the zone, and it's ball 4. So walk from Barsotti, leadoff man aboard here in the 7th. Didn't get anything good to hit, so he laid off. And that's a sign of maturity from Matthew Mebane. Has all the pop in the world, can go up there, try to swing for the fences, but a disciplined AB when Rockford needs some insurance runs. Definitely what you like to see. So he's aboard first for Ben Brantley. 2 for 3 today with a couple of singles off the starter De Leon. Barsotti holds his hands out far away from his body, almost across the mound, working on the first base side of the rubber. He throws a first pitch slider low to Brantley, 1-0. And we'll see what he works in here beyond the slider to a left-handed bat. Got to think maybe something else. That's a fastball. It's off the glove of Hansen. Mebane gets a good jump, and he'll jog into second base. So that one kicks out all the way towards the Jackrabbits dugout. See if it's scored as a wild pitch or a pass ball, but either way, Mebane's into scoring position over at second base with nobody out. Then decision time, meanwhile, on the Rockford end when it comes to their pitching. Kyle Seabach has looked good through 6 innings, settled into the game nicely. He's currently at 84 pitches. You have Ryan Green warming up in the bullpen. We'll see when he's called into action and if it's in the next half frame. Right now, 2-0 to Ben Brantley after Mebane was walked to lead off the inning. Batters count to Brantley, who's had 2 hard hit base hits and scalded a ball to center field. 2-0. Check swing. He held up, and the count's 3 balls and no strikes. Pitches low and inside. See, Brantley gets the green light here. 3-0 pitch. Takes low, ball 4. Seven straight out of the zone. Only pitch so far that's been a strike is one that Mebane fished out low in the zone. We'll see how long the leash is here on Barsotti, as the first 2 have reached for Rockford in the 7th. Again, Rivets looking for insurance, up 4-3. There is action in that Kokomo bullpen. Big talk here from the pitching coach, Colton Hahn, and Chase Barsotti, trying to settle him down as Cam McDonald, the on-base threat from Illinois, now gets ready to step into the righty box. First 2 have reached in the inning for the Rivets. They have 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors. 3 runs on 6 hits, and 3 big errors for this Kokomo side that's allowed Rockford into the game after jumping out to a 3-0 lead. McDonald did not see Barsotti on opening day. It wasn't on the Rivets roster. As were most of these Rockford players. Just Matthew Mebane, the only one that saw him in the lineup tonight, and Krittenberger, excuse me. McDonald 0 for 3 today, reached on an error to allow the go-ahead run to score last time up in the 5th, and he takes another slider low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Tyler Horvath is currently getting loose in the Kokomo bullpen. 1-0. Tight to McDonald on the fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. Barsotti's got to find a way to find the zone here. In danger of walking the bases loaded with nobody out here in the 7th. Rockford trying to snap a 4-game road losing skid. Get back to a game of 500. They're up 4-3. Pitch to McDonald's, low and inside, ball 3. Barsotti's been out of the zone with 10 straight pitches. All 12 of his pitches have, realistically speaking, been out of the strike zone. Mebane just swung and expanded the zone at 1. Still has yet to find the zone. 3-0. Hits McDonald in the leg on a fastball, and he'll head down to first base. Leonetti's already out of the dugout. Have to think that's it for Barsotti here. 2 walks and a hit by pitch have loaded the bases with nobody out. The first-year manager over to his right-hander, who already hands off the baseball. Frustrating outing for Chase Barsotti as the bases are loaded with nobody out, and now a huge jam for Kokomo to wiggle itself out of. Opportunity has arrived for the Rockford Rivets. Looking for insurance. They lead 4-3. We'll break during the pitching change here on the Rivets Baseball Network. Warm-up tosses have been completed for Tyler Horvath, the arm, out of the mound for the Kokomo Jackrabbits. Drew Baker, the scheduled hitter, with the bases loaded and nobody out for the Rockford Rivets, leading 4-3 here in the top of the 7th inning, looking to snap a 4-game losing skid, get back within a game of the 500 mark. Horvath this season, another arm out of the Kokomo bullpen that's found inconsistency. His ERA is 3.6. That's rather low for this Jackrabbit squad, but still 4 earned runs allowed in just 10 innings. Hard-throwing righty out of Case Western Reserve fires in a first-pitch fastball that Baker fouls straight back. The count's 0-1. Baker's 0 for 2 today, struck out, flown out, and also walked. Horvath's first action against the Rivets since pitching on opening day, a scoreless inning, which he allowed 1 hit and struck out 1. Peering in, now comes set, kicks and deals, a fastball high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Was not a pretty outing at all for Chase Barsotti. Did not record an out, walked 2, and hit 1. Those are the base runners right now in this inning for Rockford. Nabin and Brantley walked on 3rd and 2nd, respectively. And then Cam McDonald hit by a 3-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike to count here to Baker. Looking for a breakout hit at the bottom of this Rockford lineup. Next pitch to him. Fastball just off the plate, 2-1. Good take from the Wright State catcher. Baker's just 2 for 18 this season. Both his hits came in 1 game. He's 0 for his last 11. What a slump buster this would be. Badly needed insurance for the Rivets, up 4-3. Middle infield pinch to turn 2 for Kokomo. Corners up. Outfield straight away at standard depth. High leg kick and delivery from Horvath. 2-1. Fouled away to the right side. It gets to the concourse. It's a fastball that Baker was just late on, and the count goes to 2-2. It's a 4-pitch mix for Tyler Horvath. Fastball, slider, changeup, curveball, but very heavy fastball that can ride into the high 80s. 75% of the time he uses the heater. Main off speed is a slider at 14%. Won't see a lot of the changeup or curveball. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Baker. Righty pins the glove up high, eye level, and fires in the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Went to the slider. It was in on the hands of Baker, who drew the sword. First strikeout for Horvath, and there's one down now in the 7th. The bases remain loaded. That'll bring up Dylan Robertson, left-handed hitting third baseman. Robertson's 1 for 2 today with a walk and a single. Also swiped the bag. He's a guy you want up right now if you're the Rivets. He's been hot as of late. 5 multi-hit games in his last 8. Looking for number 6 here. He has the bat come to rest on his left shoulder, standing straight up in the lefty box. First pitch swinging. Ground ball over the head of the first baseman. Throneberry into right field for a base hit. 1 run scores in Bevan. Brantley straight behind him. A 2 RBI single for Dylan Robertson. And Rockford's got its insurance. 6-3 Rivets in the 7th. Not the prettiest hitting by any sense, but they all count the same for Dylan Robertson. Now 6 multi-hit games in his last 9. A chopper right out in front of home plate that trampolined into the air. The first baseman, Throneberry, leapt into the sky and didn't have a chance at bringing it down as it bounced all the way into shallow right field from just in front of home plate. The arc on that ground ball was impeccable and a great timing for the Rivets. McDonald up the second. 2 on for Thaxton Birch. First pitch swinging. Blooper into left field. It gets down on a hop. Lotus didn't see it in the sunlight. There's a shaft of sunlight in left field. The rest engulfed in shadows as the sun continues to set. And Lotus put his hands up in the air. He didn't see the baseball. It gets down in front of him. And the bases are loaded again. McDonald to third. Robertson to second. And a big chance with the bags full of Rivets for Jeff Ince. Tides have turned quickly in this one. Rockford looking to break it open now, up 6-3 in the 7th. Ince 0 for 1 today with a strikeout and a couple of walks. First pitch from Horvath. It's a called strike on the outer third. Ince thought about going, held up his swing, but it was in the zone. 6 runs on 8 hits now for the Rivets. Back-to-back hits against Horvath, plating both runs, getting charged to the tab of Barsotti. Last runner of his responsibility is McDonald over at third. Robertson on second, Birch on first. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss from Ince. Pulled off the off-speed, and now they're going to bring a runner home. The call is catcher's interference, and Cam McDonald jogs home. It's 7-3 Rivets. Ince took a swing. He must have caught a piece of the glove of the catcher Hansen. Leonetti is incensed in the Kokomo dugout. He comes up and asks for the 3-man conference from the umpires. I didn't hear a piece of the mitt hit there, but apparently Jeff Ince's swing caught part of the mitt. So a catcher's interference plates McDonald. It moves Robertson to third and Birch to second. Unless they called a balk. But they were pointing to the catcher when it came in. We'll get clarification from the official scoring here in a minute. Either way, there's 2 in scoring position with 1 out, and the infield's up for the Jackrabbits. 0-1 to Ince. Next pitch is grounded foul, first base side. Throneberry was off the bag and up. If that pitch got down the line in fair territory, it was extra bases, and it was scoring 2 more runs for the Rivets. But instead, it's 0-2 to Ince. Let's get another look at this ruling. The first pitch didn't count, so you have to think now it's a balk. It's still not officially up in the scoring yet. That still reads 6-3 Rockford in the live stats. So we'll have to get an update on that here in a minute. 0-2. Ince swing and a miss for strike 3. Horvath got him with the slider now. 2 down here in the 7th. Second strikeout for Horvath. But because that didn't register as a called ball, you have to almost think they certainly called a balk in that instance. But home plate umpire immediately pointed to the catcher Hansen from our perspective, which made me think it was catcher's interference. Regardless, there's 2 outs, still 2 in scoring position, and the Kokomo infield can come back for Ty Krittenberger. They do call it a balk in the official scoring. So a balk on Horvath plates another run for Rockford. Here's Krittenberger. 1 for 4 today with a single and a run scored. First pitch finds the outside edge for strike 1. 2 ducks on the pond for Krittenberger, who's second on the Rivets with 18 RBIs. Can hit the 20 mark here with a base hit. Can blow this game open. It's 7-3 Rockford here in the 7th. Rivets trying to get back within a game of 500 and move to a game and a half out in the Great Lakes East, with the other scores holding form around the division tonight. 0-1 is tight as Horvath can't find the snap on the slider, and the count's 1-1. And their scores around the Northwoods League, it's 6-0 Kenosha against Battle Creek in the bottom of the 7th. 15-4 now Traverse City in the bottom of the 6th, home to Kalamazoo. Results hold, Rivets a game and a half out of first place, 1-1. Breaking ball is just low for a ball 2 to Krittenberger, who thought about going around. It was a weird strikeout for Ty last time up. It was a looping curveball from Dan Driscoll that Krittenberger cast his hands out trying to hold up his swing and was hit on the hand by the pitch. And the home plate umpire ruled that he was trying to get in the way of the ball and get hit by the pitch, so they called strike 3 and forced him to be retired. Now Krittenberger calls for time, with Horvath taking his time on the bump. 2-1 count with 2 outs, 7-3 Rockford. They've scored 3 in the inning here in the 7th, and a batter away from hitting around. Now Horvath set. Collarbone height, the 2-1 pitch. A fastball swung on and missed, elevated in the zone. So 2-2 now to Krittenberger. Leadoff man adjusts his red and white batting gloves, taps the brim of his helmet, and now comes set in the righty box, wiggling the bat off his right shoulder. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 7-3 Rivets. 2 in scoring position. Horvath kicks and deals the pitch. It's a called strike 3. Fastball at the knees, froze Krittenberger. His 3rd time striking out tonight. 3rd for Horvath, who strikes out the side, and it's retired. But not before 3 mistakes from Chase Barsotti come back to haunt Kokomo, as 3 cross in the frame for Rockford to take a 7-3 lead headed to the stretch time here in Kokomo Municipal on the Rivets Radio Network. Well, Seabach stays out on the mound, bottom of the 7th from Kokomo Municipal Stadium. And maybe a little insurance making the decision easier for JT Scara and company. It's 7-3 Rivets over the Kokomo Jackrabbits. The bottom 3rd of the Jackrabbits lineup coming to the dish. 3rd time through against Seabach. He's on the mound for his 7th inning of work for only the 2nd time this season. He's at 84 pitches. See how long the leash is. Garzinski today, 1 for 2 with a single. 4-run ball game. He takes strike 1. Fastball in her 3rd. Seabach, 6 innings, has allowed 3 earned runs on 6 hits, a walk and 3 strikeouts, but all 3 of those earned runs came in the first 2 frames As the ground ball goes to first, gobbled up by Brantley. He'll walk it over to the bag himself. One away in the 7th. On just 2 pitches as well for Seabach. Seabach's been a real innings eater as well for this Rivets team. Not just effective, he goes deep into games. More arms up and throwing in the Rockford pen. Saw Ryan Green in the last frame. That is Green still getting loose, should be called into action. Luke Hansen, 0 for 1 today. Sacrificed in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th. First pitch from Seabach, swing and a miss. Fastball low in the zone. Hansen expanding. Go down in the hole 0-1. 3 runs in the top of the 7th for Rockford gave him this insurance. 2 walks and a hit by pitch from Chase Barsotti. Loaded the bases. And then a 2 RBI single from Dylan Robertson. Plated 2 of them before a balk allowed Cam McDonald to come home and score. Another swing and a miss from Hansen at a fastball. He's down in the count 0-2. Just 3 strikeouts tonight for Seabach. But ahead here in the 7th. 0-2 pitch. Tapped on the ground towards third. Robertson charging in. Up with it. Sets his feet. Throws in time. Luke Hansen retired on a quick ground ball out. Now 2 down here in the 7th. Just 5 pitches for these first 2 outs for Seabach. He's at 89 total. And there's 2 down for Kian Lotus. 1 for 2 today. He singled in the 5th. It was the last hard hit ball off of Seabach. Kyle's retired 15 of 16 since allowing that 3rd run to score in Throneberry. Reached via a walk and then came around to score on the single from Sartori. 1-0 pitch is over the outside edge. 1-1 to Lotus. And if Seabach can get this final out in under 9 pitches, can re-enter for the 8th. We'll see how much they're willing to push him. 1-1. Fouled off to the left, 1-2. Talking about the humidity, it's been very hot today. It's been high 90s. They're on an all-turf field in a very open area with not a lot of wind. The sun's been beating down on these pitchers, so Seabach's got to have some fatigue. But the sun is beginning to set, almost fully down here in Kokomo, and the temperature has dropped down to 93, so slightly better conditions. 1-2, change-ups fouled off. Lotus stays in the box at 1-2. This will be the 2nd consecutive 1-2-3 inning for Seabach, his 4th of the night. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, poked foul again from Lotus. Did not see action at Kansas State this season. It's a big transfer to the Big 12. Hails from Omaha, Nebraska. It's a well-traveled Kokomo team. Well represented from each part of the country, but still trying to come together here in 2022. Jackrabbits sit bottom of the Great Lakes East at 7-14. Seabach set at the belt. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Bounces in a slider. And the count goes to 2-2. Lotus, if he's done anything, he's revved up Seabach's pitch count. Makes it that much harder for him to potentially re-enter in the 8th. So pitch number 7 of the at-bat. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Fishing at the slider. Lotus goes down swinging for the 2nd time tonight. It's the 4th strikeout for Kyle Seabach. And how about that bounce back? Through 7 frames, and the Rivets up by 4, headed to the 8th. We'll step aside here on the Rivets Radio Network. Tyler Horvath stays out on the mound as we head to the top of the 8th inning. 2-3-4 due up for the Rivets as they lead 7-3 over the Kokomo Jackrabbits. Brody Harding. Been a locked in bat tonight for Rockford. He steps into the lefty box and takes strike one over the outer third from Horvath. Hard throwing right hander on the bump. So 0-1 to Harding. Harding's 1 for 3 tonight. He's also walked and scored back in the 5th. 0-1. Harding, another breaking ball. This is over the outer third. It makes it quickly 0-2. Horvath has been on with his off speed since coming into this game. Really limited the damage after Barsotti loaded the bases with nobody out in the 7th. All 3 inherited runners scored, only on a couple of hits. Also had 3 strikeouts. He struck out the side in the 7th. And those 2 hits were extremely soft ones, too. I mean, Robertson, a high chopper that gets over the infield, and then a blooper in the left that Kean Lotus doesn't see off the bat. Nothing really been squared up so far against Horvath. 0-2 to Harding. Here's the pitch. Swinging and a ball fouled straight back. Stays at 0-2. Harding will twirl the bat a couple times. It comes to rest on his left shoulder. Illinois man looking to reach here to start the 8th. 0-2. Fastball upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Next pitch outside again with another heater. 2-2. Harding asks for time. I've seen a couple of Rockford players swatting away at home plate. Maybe a buildup of bugs. It's really humid out here. We talked about the high 90s heat, and I've seen Robertson do that in the lefty box as well, and now Harding. Regardless, he's back in there. The 2-2 is swung and driven out to right center field. It looked like it was going to be deep, but instead it falls in between Sartori and Holguin. I mean, that ball had a lot of steam taken out of it off the bat. Harding must have missed a barrel. It looked like it was destined for the gap for extra bases. Instead, it falls into shallow right center field. Regardless, it's a single for Harding, who's aboard to start the 8th. Third hit given up by Horvath. All of them have been extremely soft. Harding just missed the barrel on that one, but he's aboard to start the inning against Matthew Mebane. And this matchup, many will be watching with intrigue. Mebane, 1 for 3 tonight to score 2 runs, including the 2-run homer to tie the game in the 3rd. First pitch to him. He takes at the knees, a called strike. Some late life on the pitch from Horvath, sinking low in the zone. Mebane was one of the 3 runs that walked and scored in the 7th. Horvath stares back the runner. Now kicks and deals the 0-1. Fastball high and away. Reaching out of his crouch is Hansen to keep it in front. So no advancement from the runner. Count goes to 1-1 on Matthew Mebane. A mammoth shot to left center field back in the 3rd inning. One of the longest home runs seen at this ballpark, especially with a wooden bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Fastball laced. It's through in the hole on the left side of the infield for a base hit. Diving was the third baseman Garzinski, but he couldn't range over to get it. Line drive single, Matthew Mebane, 2 on with nobody out in the 8th. Everything hard hit off the bat right now. The man from South Georgia State College is beginning to lock in once again. And if the Rivets can get some runs here in the 8th, they really blow this one open. Here's Ben Brantley, who's already 2 for 3 tonight with a walk and a run scored. Righty Horvath on the bump. Stares back Harding at second. Gazdar creeping in from short to keep him honest. Now retreats to the hole as Brantley takes a called strike 1 right over the inside corner. Now 10 hits for Rockford. 7 runs to show for it. 3 runs on 6 hits, 3 errors for Kokomo. Quick mound conference from Hansen, trying to get on the same page with his right-hander to attack Brantley here. Got in the head in the count, 0-1. There's nobody up and throwing in the Kokomo bullpen. Would have to suggest that this is Horvath's inning to finish. Ryan Green, meanwhile, on the other hand, looks like he's ready to go in the Rockford pen should Kyle Seabach's evening been done. Brantley calls for time. That's a third straight lefty hitter we've seen swatting away from just outside of the lefty batter's box. Some bugs getting in his face. Either way, plays wave back and we're resumed to go. 0-1 the count to Louisiana Tech first baseman. Horvath comes set at the face, now the 0-1. Brantley, late swing at a fastball. It's foul off the facing of the Jackrabbits dugout. So now 0-2 the count to Brantley. First two have reached via single here in the eighth for Rockford. They lead 7-3. Horvath spin move back towards second. Nobody's holding on Harding, so he'll just stay off the bag. Oh, 0-2. High leg kick in the pitch upstairs for 1-2. Seven 3 Rivets here in the eighth. Slow, methodical approach from Horvath on the bump. 1-2, nobody out, 2-on. Here's the pitch. It's another fastball tight towards the hands of Brantley. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're seeing a major hot streak right now from Brantley, Louisiana Tech first baseman, who's been hot and cold so far in his collegiate ranks. Was 0 for his last 15 to end his time at Louisiana Tech, but before that, had hits in 4 of 5 games and was 5 for 13. That's a streaky hitter with limited at-bats. 2-2's outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes, but he's been consistently a good hitter for this Rivets team so far. He's 13 for 32 so far in Rivets colors. That's going to impress any coaching staff across college baseball. Always been a consistent bat-to-ball hitter. He hit .411 in his career at Hernando High School, where he was a 2-time All-State selection. High leg kick in the 3-2. Swing and a miss, he got him. Frustration from Brantley as Horvath dropped in the off-speed pitch and then was nonchalant receiving the baseball. So a delayed steal from Harding, who slides into third base. Jackie Robinson style from Brody Harding. The delayed steal. The catcher, Hansen, just wasn't paying attention, and Harding took off late and was able to dive in safely. So now they're at the corners with 1 down for Cam McDonald. That's a big 90 feet if the Rivets can get another run. Pitch is on the outside edge for a called strike to McDonald. And we've seen Brody Harding do that 4 or 5 times now. Saw him do it last night when the cutoff man was missed in Wisconsin Rapids. After delivering a single to make it a 1-run game, he got himself into scoring position. Looking at little things like that, taking an aggressive turnaround first. He's done it time and time again. It's the little things like that in the base running game that make such a difference. Heads up play for Harding as McDonald sets to go in the righty box. Cam's 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch and a run scored tonight. He goes for the squeeze play, but it's bunted foul. Tried to score as a Illini teammate the old-fashioned way as he showed bunt late, tried to drop it down the first base line, but it trickled into foul territory, and now McDonald's down in the count 0-2. And that was no safety squeeze. That was full-on squeeze play as Harding had taken off on the pitch. Rockford trying to steal another run, up by 4 here in the 8th. See if they play any tricks with Mebane over at first base. 0-2 to McDonald, elevated towards right field, racing over the right fielder Holguin. Harding's ready to tag, but it drifts into the playground down the right field line, out of play. Not a lot of foul territory after you get out towards the last 15 feet or so of Kokomo Municipal, of the 330 between home plate and the fence. Big backstop, the bananas out across the dugouts in the bullpens, but then after the bullpens, juts back in field, and there's only about 5 feet of foul ground in that area where McDonald hit that ball. 0-2, swing and a miss. McDonald goes down on strikes. The breaking ball from Horvath gets him fishing. That's 5 strikeouts now. Every out that Tyler Horvath has gotten so far in this game has been swinging via the strikeout. And McDonald sat down, and there's 2 away here in the 8th. It'll be left for Drew Baker, who's the first man to face Horvath. Back in the 7th inning, he struck out swinging, was one of those 5 strikeout victims. Baker struck out twice today. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. Infield back. As Baker swings and misses again. Mebane bluff steal towards second. Now they have Harding in a rundown between third and home. Throw goes back in. It's high. Hansen corrals it. Running Harding back to third. Will throw to shortstop Gazdar. Couple of bluff throws. He drops the baseball. Harding racing over towards the bag. They're saying he was out of the baseline, and they'll call him out. Nearly a great escape from Brody Harding, who knocked the baseball out of Gazdar's hand, who tried to tag him with the bare hand, holding the baseball as Harding looked to elude the tag up the third baseline. The baseball was dislodged, but Harding went out of the baseline in order to get him to drop it. So it's a third out of the inning, and the side is retired. Rockford can't quite steal another run, but they'll lead by 4 heading to the bottom of the 8th here on the Rivets Radio Network. Six outs left to get for the Rockford Rivets, and they turn to their bullpen for the first time tonight. It's Ryan Green, the converted starter, who's out to get the potential 6-out save here in a 4-run game, 7-3. Rivets over Kokomo. Green, it's his 4th appearance of the season, his first 3 being starts. He went 1-1 with an ERA just north of 10, allowed 13 earned runs in 11 2/3. Had a really good first start against the Traverse City Pittsbitters, and then 2 that got away from him. Talk about those as the evening goes on. But Green, and with his 4-pitch mix, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, will drop to multiple arm angles to throw certain pitches. Tough nut to crack for this Kokomo offense that has not scored since the 2nd inning. They have the top of their lineup due up fourth time through, Luke Sartori will lead things off. First pitch from Green bounced in to the catcher Baker, so 1-0 to Sartori. He's 1 for 3 today with a single back in the second. Kokomo's had just one hit since the second inning. They're looking for an offensive spark as the 1-0 is driven out towards center field. Krittenberger is able to get there in the alleyway, make the catch for out number 1. Sartori retired, 1 down in the 8th. Well struck from the leadoff man for the Jackrabbits, but Krittenberger, a lot of closing speed there in the outfield, is able to cut it off about halfway deep into the gap. But those starts that got away from Ryan Green. Back on June 8th in Kenosha, the next destination for Rockford after this series. Really tough game. I mean, rain was pouring down throughout the early portion of that game. Both pitching staffs were struggling to locate the strike zone. Green was one of them as Arabal digs in, shows bunt, pulls back, pitches high for a ball, 1-0. Infielder from Hawaii is 1 for 3 today, doubled and scored in the first. That's from the left side, righty Green on the mound. Here's a 1-0. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. That was the first sign of the curveball. Even the count at 1-1. Green's line on that game in Kenosha was 3 innings. He allowed 2 earned runs on just 2 hits, but walked 5. And it was the walks and the non-competitive walks that got that one away from the righty from Concordia University, Wisconsin. 1-1's outside. Arabal takes 2-1. Then Green's last start tried to battle through 4 innings against the Battle Creek Battlejacks with a huge lead. It was 9-3 Rivets going into the 4th, and Green just could not get out of the inning. Pitched to a lot of contact against a dangerous lineup. He finds his own here to Arabal, who takes strike 2. 3 2/3, gave up 9 earned runs, 10 total on 11 hits with 3 walks. Just really struggled on a humid day to get out of that 4th inning as he misses outside with the off speed. First time dropping to sidearm to throw that curveball. Arabal is in a full count. 1 down here in the bottom of the 8th, 7-3 Rivets lead. Looking to close this one out with Ryan Green on the hill. Here's the payoff. It's fouled straight back from Arabal. We'll do it again at 3-2. Just under 3 hours into this one, Rockford fell behind 3-0 in the second inning, came roaring back, a 3-run top of the 3rd, and a mammoth home run from Matthew Mebane. Then they added on 1 in the 5th, 3 in the 7th. Next pitch from Arabal, laced out towards right field, backing up Birchie, makes the over-the-shoulder catch. Rushing towards the warning track, Thaxton Birch tracks it over the shoulder. Loud out from Arabal, but there's 2 down here in the 8th. That ball was smoked. If it was hit earlier in the evening, even had a chance to get out of here. But good closing speed from Thaxton Birch, a guy that's still learning to play the outfield. Does a really good job getting back to the track and making the catch over the shoulder. 2 down, nobody on for Carlos Hidalgo as Green looks for a 1-2-3 8th inning. 1 for 3 today, RBI single in the first. Green drops sidearm, but his pitch is inside, 1-0. Hidalgo, the DH, batting from the right side, 1-0 pitch. Off the outside edge with the curveball, 2-0. Hitter friendly to Carlos Hidalgo. Hard-hitting outfielder out of St. John's. And a hitter's count. Green trying to nibble outside. He finds the corner with the fastball, and the count goes to 2-1. Next pitch is behind Hidalgo. It hits him on the heel. Or maybe it just missed him. He's staying in the box, so it must have just missed him for 3-1. Thought that certainly made contact with something with the sound it made. But Hidalgo apparently just able to get out of the way. Next pitch grounded foul straight back, and the count's even at 3-2. Hidalgo swinging out of his shoes here, trying to make something happen with 2 outs in the 8th. Time quickly running out on the Kokomo Jackrabbits. Rockford leads 7-3. Big kick in the 3-2. Breaking ball grounded foul, third base side. We'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Green peers in, working out of the windup. Legs either side of the rubber. Here's a 3-2. Grounded foul again. Hidalgo continues the battle with 2 strikes here. Couple bodies up stirring in the Rockford bullpen. We'll see who potentially gets the ball in the 9th if Green can't close it out. There's been some loud outs in this inning. Sartori squared it up to left. It was caught by Crittenberger in the alleyway. Arabal hit one deep to the warning track in right. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Hidalgo, check swing. He did not go around. It's ball 4 low. Credit to the 3-hole man in the Kokomo lineup, able to take a tough pitch, and he's aboard with 2 outs in the 8th. Luke Fitton and Alex Pipes currently throwing, both right-handers for the Rivets. Here's Gazdar, who's 0 for 3 today. Righty on righty matchup. Green outside with a fastball, 1-0. Again, just need one more out here if you're Rockford. Get to the plate in the 9th with a 4-run lead. Gazdar's hit a couple of balls really hard. Double play ball and a line drive up the middle. There's another one that gets through into center field for a base hit. Was robbed by Ince earlier in the game of a single, but this time it gets through, and back-to-back base runners for Kokomo with 2 outs here in the 8th. First Jackrabbits hit since the 5th inning, just their second since the 2nd inning. First hit against Green brings up a dangerous hitter, though, with 2 outs, and Al Holguin. He's 1 for 3 today, but he had a solo home run against Seabach back in the 2nd. Green comes set at the belt, calls for time, granted by home plate umpire as Holguin steps out. Holguin 16 hits on the season through 8 games, 3 of them for extra bases, including the home run tonight. Now JT Scara out of the dugout to talk to Green. Knows how big this out is potentially. Holguin gets a hold of another one. You're looking at a 1-run ball game here in the 8th. Pipes and Fitton still getting loose. Both hard-throwing righties in the Rockford bullpen. No action in the Kokomo end. Looks like they're prepared to run Horvath back out there for the 9th. Home plate umpire Jonathan Rector is out there to break up this mound visit between Scara, Baker, and the righty on the mound, Green. Of course, Green's a returning Rivet. Played under Scara last season. Kokomo's never been the kindest to him. 4 earned runs allowed in an inning and 2/3 pitched against the Jackrabbits in his career. Next pitch, breaking balls over the outside edge for a called strike. Again, it's fastball, curveball typically for Green. Does have a changeup. Rarely features it, although it could be broken out here to the lefty Holguin. Set at the belt. Kicks in, deals the 0-1. Fastball outside, evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, your count. 2 down here in the 8th. The big 1-1 pitch on the way. Green floats the breaking ball, rubbing his pant leg as he's trying to get a feel for the off speed in these humid conditions. Couldn't quite find the snap on the pitch that time. It's 2-1 to Holguin. And if he loads the bases here, the tying run all of a sudden comes to the dish and a bat in Throneberry, who has plenty of pop. Big 2-1 pitch. Hit on the ground towards second. Harding's got it deep in the hole. His throw to first in time. And that will retire the side. Ryan Green bends but does not break in the 8th for Kokomo. No runs on a hit, no errors. 2 men left. 7-3 Rivets. We head to the 9th after this on the Rivets Baseball Network. The Kokomo Jackrabbits have run out of conventional arms in this game, at least by definition, because Connor Throneberry is coming in to pitch for the top of the ninth inning. So it's changes all around. Holgren slides over from right field to first base. Angel Galindez, who's an infielder by trade, enters the game in right field. And Throneberry is on the mound for the Kokomo Jackrabbits here in the ninth inning of a 4-run ball game. Baker, Robertson, Birch, 6, 7, 8, the projected hitters for this Rockford team. This is not Throneberry's first pitching appearance this season for the Jackrabbits. Did pitch an additional game. They lost by 10 runs in Kalamazoo. Went an inning and a third, gave up 3 hits and only 1 earned run. Not a terrible outing for the man from Penn State University. See what he's got here. Dealing against the bottom of the Rockford lineup, Kokomo has been taxed. We talked about it a little earlier in the game from their arms from these last 2 series against Kenosha and Battle Creek. They don't have a lot of starters that go particularly deep into games, and because of that, they have to use a lot of arms in quick succession. And remember, I mean, it's summer ball, so you have to protect guys' arms. Can't run them out there too often, so an ability to try to conserve arms here with Throneberry on the mound. His first pitch is a fastball upstairs to Baker. Takes for 1-0. Baker was at the dish when Harding got caught in the pickle, tug out to end the last inning. He's 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Throneberry is low in the zone, 2-0 to Baker. 2-0, there's a fastball over the edge for strike 1. Some decent velocity from Throneberry. No radar gun operational here at Kokomo Municipal Stadium, but it's got some decent run on it. He goes back with another fastball. Baker takes inside. It's 3-1. It's enough to challenge hitters, though. He just has to find the strike zone. 3-1 to the catcher out of right state. Here's the pitch. Swung on, driven towards center field. Sartori gets around on it, makes the catch. He had to put his hand up for a minute, try to find the baseball as he ran over to his right. But he makes a catch in center field. Baker retired on the hard hit fly ball, and there's 1 away in the 9th. No pitching arsenal at her disposal for Throneberry, but he was quite an accomplished pitcher in high school. We'll look at that as Dylan Robertson, the left-handed hitting third baseman, steps in. He's reached 3 times, 2 singles and a walk, a 2 RBI single in the 7th his last time up. He fouls the first pitch back, and it's 0-1. Throneberry gets a fresh baseball. He works on the first base side of the rubber out of the windup. Kicks and deals 0-1 to Robertson. It's just north of the letters, even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. But for Throneberry, he was a 2-way player at Marquette Senior High School in Missouri. Robertson swings and misses, pulling off the fastball. He's down in the count 1-2. First team All-State in 2021 as a senior. This is why Penn State recruited him. 4.22 average, 7 home runs, 10 doubles. Had plenty of pop in the bat, but also on the mound. Was 6-2 with a 1.80 ERA. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Robertson strikes out at an elevated fastball. There's your strikeout for Throneberry, and there's 2 away, in the 9th. .80 ERA in a competitive high school baseball state like Missouri, towards the southern part of the country. 63 strikeouts in 52 innings. Here's a pinch hitter for Rockford with 2 outs. It's Johannes Hawkinson. He pinch hits for Birch. Would have to think he enters the outfield in this one as he sprays a ball foul right side. So 1-1, the count to Hawkinson. Hawkinson's been hitting a lot better in recent games. Brought it with him to Wisconsin Rapids, where picked up a couple of hits, went 2 for 3 in that extra inning affair on Sunday. So the batting average climbing up there for the man out of Concordia University, Wisconsin. It's back up to 246. He's 14 for 57. Had a 2 RBI game here in Kokomo earlier this season. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Throneberry's been throwing primarily fastballs, but he's generated a couple swings and misses with some breaking balls. It's a 1-2 count. Last line here on Throneberry about his high school career. We'll wait till the 1-2 goes outside to make it 2-2. He threw a complete game in the district semifinals, and in that game, he also hit the go-ahead 3-run home run. So he's quite the two-way athlete in high school. Hasn't translated to the college game yet in limited opportunities, but here he is with the 2-2. Swing and a foul tip. It's hung on to by Hansen. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Connor Throneberry, who runs the velocity up on some of these Rockford hitters. Maybe head coach Rob Cooper in Happy Valley will have to take a look at that. Sides retired in order in the 9th. 7-3 Rivets looking to close it out when we come back. Rivets lead 7-3 headed to the 9th. They got 3 more outs left to get. And the man charged with getting those 3 outs is Luke Fitton. Not a safe situation in a 4-run game, but Luke Fitton slowly starting to materialize a role in the back of this Rockford Rivets bullpen. Was really good in the second game against Green Bay back on that homestand. He's going to face the pitcher, Connor Throneberry, to start things off here in the 9th, who's a scheduled first hitter. Throneberry started the game at first base and then was on the mound a 1-2-3 9th inning, striking out 2 Rivets. Maybe Kokomo will have to let him pitch more often. Fitting through 3 innings has allowed 5 earned runs, but all of those earned runs came in 1 outing. Other than that, 2 frames, plenty of velocity on the fastball, plenty of strikeouts as well. For the 6'5", 200-pound right-hander from the University of Illinois at Springfield. First pitch from Fitton. Insane whip on the arm as fastball fouled off from Throneberry. 0-1 the count. Throneberry's 0 for 2 today with a walk and a run scored. Kokomo, no runs since the second inning. They led 3-0. Rockford battled from behind to take a 4-run lead here in the 9th. Fitton high, leg kick. Plenty of whip on that arm, like we said with the delivery. This one's low for a ball. He lifts his leg high up in the air, almost towards his stomach with the kneecap, and then whips his hand back and just lets that fly on the fastball. 1-1 pitch. It's another heater low. 2-1. Fitton usually in the zone pretty accurately. Was in both the games he pitched against the Green Bay Rockers on the homestand. Had some Rivets that were tasked with keeping charts for their pitchers and had some radar guns on them as the 2-1 swung on and missed. 2-2 was another fastball. But speaking of that fastball, some Rivets pitchers that were doing charts with radar guns in the stands said he was hitting up to 97 miles per hour with the fastball. He had some plus velo. He's going to try to bring it here with 2 strikes. 2-2 to Throneberry. Here's the pitch. Fastball is just low. So the count goes full at 3-2. To the leadoff man here in the 9th, Throneberry. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Check swing. He did not offer at the outside heater. Ball 4. Throneberry's second walk and a leadoff base runner for Kokomo. Still down by 4 here in the 9th. That'll bring up Riley Garzinski. 1 for 3 today with a single back in the second. Little did the Jackrabbits know they would only have 2 more hits after that ambush by Garzinski. They had early success on Seabach, but was able to battle back and offer 7 quality innings for the Rivets at the top of their rotation. First pitch inside to Garzinski, 1-0. Looks like Kokomo will empty the bench here for a pinch runner, so Throneberry's day is done. See who came in for them here. There's a pitcher coming in to run, Dylan Delvecchio. So you have a position player come in and pitch the 9th inning, and then he bats in the 9th inning and walks, and then you have a pitcher come in to run for him. It's been quite the chessboard tonight for the Jackrabbits. Garzinski, a line drive down in right field for a base hit. Delvecchio will stop at second. Back-to-back base runners have reached for Kokomo here in the 9th with nobody out. If the bottom of this lineup can continue to cause problems, they're going to have an opportunity to bring a tying run to the plate here in the 9th. Bodies up and stretching in the Rockford pen. Nobody throwing yet. Luke Hansen, 0 for 2 with a sacrifice tonight. Righty-on-righty matchup against Fitton, looking to settle in. First pitch, he shows bunt. It's up the third base line, going to stay fair. Robertson, bare hands, throws across the diamond in time to nail Hansen. Sacrifice successful. 5-3 on the putout was a really nice play for Robertson. A hard-struck bunt that had plenty of roll on the all-turf infield. He reached in, barehanded it, threw on the run up the line, and was accurate to Brantley to nail Hansen. So the pinch runner, Delvecchio, goes to third. Garzinski goes to second. There's 1 out in the frame. A strange decision by Leonetti, I'll add, to bunt when you're down by 4 runs in the 9th inning, to give away an out like that, just to put 2 in scoring position. But it worked, at least in terms of getting the bunt down, as Kean Lotus now bats out of the 9 hole. First pitch from Fittens upstairs for ball 1. Still need base runners, though, if you're the Jackrabbits, and just gave away an out here in the 9th inning. 1-0 the count to Lotus. 1 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts and a single. The lefty bat takes an inside heater, now up 2-0. Fitton comes set at the chest. Stares down his catcher Baker. High leg kick and the 2-0 popped up. It'll reach the seats on the left side out of play. 2-1 now the count. Two balls, 1 strike. Fitton, high leg kick into delivery. Fastball fouled off again. Counts even. Still 2 in scoring position with 1 out. Fitton can retire the 9 hole, man. Kokomo's down to their last out, trailing by 4. The leadoff man, Luke Sartori, waits on deck. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fitton comes set, kicks and deals. Fastball upstairs, the count's full. This is the issue sometimes with Fitton with the plus velocity. Struggles to get it into the zone. This is a situation where you just need strikes here. Trying to get the bottom of the lineup retired so that you don't bring the tying run to the plate, which would happen here if he's out of the zone with 1 more. The 3-2. Fastball kicks away from Baker. Big ricochet off the backstop means the runners don't advance as it bounces back to him at home plate. But it's ball 4, and the bases are now loaded with 1 out in the 9th. Second walk for Fitton. And then I'll bring up the top of the lineup in Sartori. And right now, that Rockford Rivets bullpen is empty. There's nobody inside of it, which says this is Fitton's inning. Sartori today is 1 for 4. Tyler Fletcher out for a mound conference. He's jogging out towards the Rivets pen. We'll get a look at him here, but remember, Rivets' typical closer, Zach Kemp, is not available right now. Injured his toe during the homestand against Battle Creek right after giving up that grand slam in the first game to the Battle Jacks. He needs about a week off to rest is what he's looking at right now, so he probably won't rejoin Rockford until they return home to Rivets Stadium next. So no Kemp here for this series, which means they've been piecing it together at the back end without their typical closer. Right now, it's Ricky Castro, who started for the Rivets on Friday, getting loose. Pardon me, that's Alex Pipes wearing Ricky Castro's number. Castro not with the team on the road trip. So a fresh count, Fletcher back in the dugout. The bases are loaded with one out here in the ninth. 7-3 Rivets lead, trying to hang on. First pitch to Sartori. He's a fastball upstairs. 1-0 to Sartori. 1 for 4 with a single in the second. Righty on righty matchup at the top of the Kokomo lineup. Rockford trying to halt the rally here in the ninth. Here's the pitch. Fastball finds the outside edge at the letters. Strike one. Kokomo jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the second. Rivets came back in the top of the third with a 3 spot of their own. Added on in the fifth, had 3 in the seventh to take a 7-3 lead. 1-1 pitch on the way from Fitton. Fastball is just upstairs. 2-1. How long is the leash with Pipes getting hot in the pen? Can't think incredibly long. Arabal hit one to the warning track his last time up, and he's on deck. 2-1. Poke to the right side, caught by the first baseman, Brantley. He runs to the bag in time. Doubles off Lotus. There's your ball game. A late surge from the Jackrabbits, but the Rivets take it 7-3. Back in the win column on the road, snapping a 4-game skid, battling back from behind from early adversity, and doubling off Lotus over at first base was Ben Brantley, as the Jackrabbits load the bases in the ninth, but Rockford keeps them off the board. What a win, what a bounce back for the Rivets. We'll step aside and then wrap it up after this on the Rivets Radio Network. Back from Kokomo Municipal Stadium, Rockford takes it 7-3 tonight over the Kokomo Jackrabbits as they improve to 11-12 on the season with the results around the Great Lakes East. Kalamazoo and Battle Creek both falling. They're now a game and a half out of first place in the division. Still plenty of action left. 13 games left in the first half standing. Didn't start out super great for the Rivets. Kokomo scored 3 runs in the first 2 innings, which included a solo shot from Al Holguin. And that solo shot over the right field fence allowed Kokomo to take that early lead against starter Kyle Seabach, who was getting knocked around in the early going. Early hits for the Jackrabbits, 5 of them to be exact. And that put them in a situation where they were ahead early. Rivets, after a long road trip back-to-back days. Rockford bounced back. Top of the third inning, got 3 to cross, including 2 on a mammoth home run from Matthew Mebane. That was well over the fence in left center field and one hop towards the video board out there in left center field. Beben's 4th home run of the season made it a 3-3 game. Then Rockford added one more in the 4th, an unearned run, that crossed in the 5th. Brody Harding singled, came around to score on the E6 from John Gazdar on the ground ball hit from Cam McDonald. Adding on 3 more in the 7th after 2 walks and a hit by pitch, allowed the bases to be loaded with nobody out. That was the real difference in this game. Rockford executing on the Kokomo mistakes. The Jackrabbits were unable to match that tenacity. Rivets got away with a couple mistakes. Luke Fitton loaded the bases in the 9th, but came out unscathed after a double play ball lined to the first baseman, Ben Brantley, who doubled off Kean Lotus to end the ball game. So for the Rockford Rivets, 7 runs on 10 hits, no errors, 9 men left on base. For Kokomo, 3 runs on 8 hits, 3 errors, 7 left on base. Win goes to Kyle Seabach after his 7 impressive innings. He goes to 2-1 on the season, allowing just the 3 runs. Andre Staleone, the tough knock loser, as he goes 4 1/3, allows 4 runs, only 2 of which were earned. But because he allowed those 4 runs to cross, he gets the loss and drops to 0-2, a game that took just 3 hours, 14 minutes to complete. That'll do it for our coverage here on the Rivets Radio Network. Once again, Rockford takes this one 7-3 over Kokomo. Back here tomorrow night, same time, 6:35 Eastern, 5:35 Central. Hope you'll join us. But until then, Andre Magaro signing off, and hope you enjoy.